top off the björn. That was my first beer. It's like I'm drunk. Hello, Starlings, for anyone who is or isn't watching. I'm Occupational Click, and my brother wanted to join me tonight.
Hello, everyone.
And I haven't streamed in a while. I wasn't playing the stream until, I don't know, maybe like May sometime. But I figured, why not? Because a lot's going on. I figured just maybe streaming is like a break from reality. So I figured, let me stream. Even if no one's here, we'll just do a brief stream. But I don't want to be doing this all night because, I don't know. As soon as I click stream, I'm like, I remember why I stopped streaming. I like it, but I don't like it. It's kind of like a 50-50, like meh. I remember now why I sometimes get sick of streaming. Well, we'll stream for like half an hour, so at least we'll see where it goes. Yeah, but we'll talk about my health problems, and I call this Sanjay stream because I haven't contacted the Indian guy. I bought all the stuff. We painted the post, mailbox. If you know the mailbox story, the guy last time I texted him, he said, "I can Venmo you the money." I'm like, "Can you send me a fucking paper check?" But I gotta wait. I need a professional to put it in. The guy's supposed to come Saturday, maybe Friday, but it's gonna rain these next coming days. It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. So Monday and Tuesday look good. I want this thing in the ground sooner than later, but so I got to wait now for that shit. And I got to tell the guy, hey, this is the total cost. It's gonna be like $400 to put it in to make sure it's street level. It's great. It's all correct. So that with the permit, so they can't say that I put it in wrong. So that's $400+ bucks. Plus we spent $200 some odd on the post, the new mailbox. The old one was busted. So we'll see how that goes. It's gonna be fun. And I might have to buy a car, which sucks. Yeah, this isn't. Oh boy, I'm gonna buy a car. I might have to. It's a whole long story, but. I might need a new car in my own name, and maybe I should do this now because what happened was after my father's stroke, I've always driven old shit cars, and my father's stroke, and he had a car, and my mother, we had to put the car. I had to do all the work. I had to put the car in my mother's name so that he would have no assets when he was in that facility. So I did all that, and I was driving that car for a while, even though it was in mommy's name, and that one's starting to go. It's like okay, so and I don't want to buy another. All my life I've bought and sold and used shit cars. Or when I get too old, I take them to the scrapyard. All my life has been used shit cars. So I'm thinking before these tariffs hit, don't want to panic. Do I go and buy a car? And I was thinking on a Nissan Versa, not because I like Nissan, because they say Nissan Versa is the cheapest new car, and it's one of the last 4-door, gas guzzling sedans. They're going to start like Nissan itself.
It's not really a gas guzzler. It's a gas.
Well, you know what I mean. It's not a hybrid. It's not a hybrid or electric. It's not like an SUV. It's one of the last gasoline powered sedans, and it's one of the cheapest on the market. So I really don't want to do all this. I get insurance. I really don't want to, but there's a part of me thinks just I got to do this. So, and I gotta add a Gimme Dats link, but no one's here to Gimme Dat. So it's like maybe they love you when you're on all the when you're not streaming, they forget about you. So my Gimme Dats link isn't going to work. Oh well. You can buy Occupational Click a car. So yes, that's what. But I went to the hospital. Let's talk about that. Let's see. I went to the hospital. No, not the hospital. I went to the doctor. I feel like I'm just babbling. Oh, yeah. Probably just done a video, an update video. Why are we even doing this?
Anyway.
But it is, what night? Tonight's what? Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah, I guess someone's out partying on a Thursday night. Because you're off tomorrow.
I'm off tomorrow.
You've worked all week, so you're a bit tired.
Yes.
So we'll get off. If this goes nowhere, just like the last one, and we'll get off and we'll stream again for another month or so. Because
this is true. Unless something brings us here.
It's feeling meh.
Yes.
Let me extend my pinky. Okay, where was I? Got to contact Sanjay. Get this mailbox in the ground. That might take another week. I have to buy a car. So I went to the doctor and I said, "Doctor, I was in the ER late February. You told me it was a hernia. Saw the surgeon. Surgeon says you do have a slight hiatal hernia, but you don't have an abdominal hernia." And I even said I don't mind doing surgery. Some people are scared of surgery. If it's going to fix it, let's do it. And the surgeon said, I love doing surgery, but in good conscience, I can't put you under the knife. So I said, what do you recommend, surgeon? Well, go see, get your gallbladder and go to a gastroenterologist. So I got a ultrasound of my gallbladder. Was it March sometime? Went to the gastroenterologist. Looks good. Well, what do you suggest I do, gastroenterologist? Maybe get see a urologist, get your kidney stone check. So I went to a urologist, got a prescription, got a CAT scan, went back to the urologist. He said, your CAT scan looks good. No kidney stones. No, what do you call it? It's another thing I can do for my to-do list. No kidney stones. Your bladder looks fine. Whatever your problem is, it's not urological. So I went back to the doctor and I told him all that. And the doctor said, well, it's good that surgeon didn't put you under the knife. That's a very conscientious surgeon. it could just be musculoskeletal. So I said, well, we really don't know unless you're there at the moment of pain. I'm like, so I managed to get like another thing of pills from him, a 30-day ibuprofen, the jacked up, prescription ibuprofen. And so I've been feeling okayish. So I guess it's basically a nothing burger, but it was a great waste of time for the past month, wasn't it?
Yes,
Let's
it
see.
was.
Contact Sanjay Pharmacy. I go to the farm. By the time I got done, saw my shrink today. I was late to see my shrink.
Yes.
So by the time I saw him, I only got a half-hour session. He claims, I said, you can be a Jew, claim the whole 45 minutes. He claims no, he can't do that because if he gets caught, so he just put me. So that's fine. We talked to him, but
Yes.
I don't know. I uploaded those shrink trilogies to give you guys an idea of why do I see a shrink? People wanted to know. And the answer is, it's a good question. There are several reasons. I started seeing him before I got my diagnosis. I started seeing him February of 23. So it's been 2 years, 2 months now. I was hoping he would diagnose me, but he was always resistant. It took a while before I could find a neuropsych who would diagnose me. And that diagnosis came that summer. So it was like August. I went and took the tests. I was diagnosed in September of 23. So I started seeing him beforehand. And I kept with him because I figured, well, maybe, it could be like another, if I do apply, which I want to do. Now, if I have to buy a car, can I not apply for bucks? That's a whole other fucking thing. But I said, if I have a psychiatrist giving me candy and a neuropsych who gave me the autism diagnosis and the other shit, and I got this dude, the psychologist, that's like 3 things. So that was part of the reason. Another part, I think my brother said, it's nice because he doesn't want to hear my problems and me bitching and moaning all the time. So you even told the shrink one time, you said, it's good. He has you. You're paid to listen. What was it you said? Something
like a third party outside. He's not related to him or involved with him. So it gives me a break from the nonsense and whatnot. But plus, it's an unbiased, a different view on his thing.
Yeah, so part of the reason I talk, I'm not going to talk to him forever, but I think part of the reason is...
plus, he lets me come on every now and then. Plus,
I can say nigger and kike, and he doesn't seem to care. He doesn't give a shit about that. But it's to have someone like rent a friend, someone else to talk to. Off grid, you are my buddy. No one else is here. I stopped streaming for a few weeks. I was getting tired of it. And the first one to say hi is you, Off Grid. You really are my true friend. I know of all the Starlings, Off Grid Live is my favorite.
He's a lifer.
Well, he's like a nester too. So yeah, Off Grid Live is you're my best friend. Yeah, I might have to get. Well, I'm gonna have to get a job regardless if I'm gonna have the stupid car thing. And maybe I even said maybe I could do the Uber or the DoorDash, even though you or the Amazon delivery. Even though you put a lot of wear and tear on the car, it's a brand new car. You're gonna get some quick cash and do that, and then get a job. But I see it as I can pay into Social Security some more, and then the summer apply for the benefits. Or I'm on the fence. I'm 50-50 because I can go buy a used car for a couple grand, but it's like maybe it's the time to buy a car. So I'm not sure. If you want to help me set up my Gimme That links, and you can send me some money to help me buy the car because Hello, Parker Peters from Georgia. I think Off Grid Live. I thought he was in California. He's in Oregon, or Oregon as they say. Yeah. Maybe I'll go out to the West Coast and see what they got hoopties for sale out there.
Yes.
So there we got. Yes, I'm here, Off Grid. I've missed you. You're the one person I missed, Off Grid. Good to see you again. And you of course, Parker Peters. So that's it. So we got an update. So despite going to a ER room, a surgeon, gallbladder, what's called gallbladder, ultrasound, and gastroenterologist, and then going to CAT scan for the kidneys and urologist, diagnosis, everything looks fine. They even told me it was actually the one benefit. Like I said, when I saw the surgeon, the one benefit, I put that video up. She said, wow, you tore your inferior gastric artery Christmas of 23. I wouldn't have been able to tell. It's really healed up. So she seems sincere about that. So at least I know my injury from Christmas of 23 is all healed up. And despite all the drinking I do, urologist said, no, you're not urologist. The urologist said the bladders and kidneys look good. Yeah. And basically, all internal organs look good. Maybe I just put on a little too much weight, not working. I bulked up a bit, and I'm heavier than I should be.
Bulk up, you got fat. Bulk up means you work out. You get
well, you gotta get fat before you can bulk up. So I'm going to bulk up. This is it's like putting the primer on before painting.
You want to sell it,
buddy. Parker, my father was a gambler down in Georgia. He round up on the wrong end of a gun, and I was born in the backseat of a Greyhound bus rolling down Highway 41. Story of my life.
Indeed.
Some of these people might even know that song, but
that's a damn shame.
And what else we got going on? We still have a little juice in that.
Oh, right, just a touch.
So I've talked about my health updates. I've talked about any suggestions of buying a car. Like, my father used to buy those books. What is it? NADA, NADA, whatever the fuck it was. I don't think they make them anymore. It's been bought out by JD Power. And I'm like, but I'm trying to get they say the Versa. I want an automatic. A Versa automatic. Well, I guess I could buy a stick. I don't want to do a stick. I ride the clutch. I was always a shitty stick driver. Plus, if someone's got to drive me to the hospital, I don't know how to work a stick. It's like so I'd like to have an automatic. The going rate's like 2021, but that seems too high. It looks like what do you call it? Tissue value. My father used to call it the tissue value. The invoice value is only like 17. Well, depends what part of the country. It might be more expensive here in Jersey. So like maybe someone down in Georgia, a dealer paid 16. Up here, maybe they are paying 17.5. But I don't want to pay more than 18 grand. I'm gonna have to take out a loan for sure. And I might not get approved for credit. So we don't even know what's gonna happen here. But yeah. When it pours, it rains. When it rains, it shines.
I guess.
Oh, I forgot to do that thing. I forgot to do this. There we go. Or he said it to 720. It doesn't matter. There we go.
There you go.
Yes. And so when people ask, why do you see the shrink? Yeah, I don't plan to see it. He's someone to talk to, rent a friend, other than like bitching at my bro, your mother's a piece of shit and this and that. It's someone else,
Yes.
Rent a friend. And yeah, I mean, pros and cons. Maybe we should find a different shrink. But like you saw, he diagnosed me with some weird shit, like oppositional defiant or some explosive or whatever bullshit disorders he came with. And I said to him, it's going to hurt me if I try to get neat bucks. In fact, I almost said neat bucks. He wouldn't know what that is. It's going to hurt me. And he goes, no, it might help. So, even if if the neuropsych says you have this and this guy says of other things, it can be like more for the list to help in theory. Theoretically, I don't know. But yeah.
Parker's likes the shrink.
Oh, you like that shrink, yeah.
All
Cool.
right. So for you, we'll stick with it. He'll stick with it.
I don't feel like repeating all that.
Yeah.
I said what I had to say.
Yeah, okay.
And now people are like, oh, you're alive. Oh my God. Like, I don't repeat all that shit about needing to buy a car and contacting Sanjay, who took out my mailbox. And what else?
That's right, because you always repeat yourself.
Yeah, I do. But when I repeat myself when I want to repeat myself.
Well, then let's not repeat yourself. Let's go on. Let's just keep it going.
What is this? Share your refer. You see this?
That's
What
weird.
the fuck is this? I think StreamYard. I haven't used StreamYard in a few weeks. And there are these changes that I don't recognize. This looks a little different. Hold on. Give me a minute. I was born in the barracks. Yeah. Okay, whatever. What the hell is this? Share your referral link? I don't like this. This has to go away. What is this? Okay, there we go. Okay, so where was I? Well, there's not much else to say then. I have have to say about my medical condition. I got to contact Sanjay, but I can't get this fucking mailbox in the ground probably till next week because it's been raining and cold.
Yeah.
And it warmed up, then it got cold again. It's been right now. It's below freezing.
Yeah,
It's like 30
crazy,
degrees.
crazy weather.
Also, my fucking thermometer there was an update with XP. My thermometer is stuck at 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which it might be now. What do you have? I got this is inaccurate. I got lower 40s. But it's going down, but it's like, why is this stuck at 30 degrees? It's not giving me accurate reading, but oh well. But the point is, it was warm now, it got cold, and it was raining, and now it's like, how am I going to get this fucking mailbox in the ground? Yeah. See, when enough people come in, I'll repeat myself. How are you, Chris Dubs? I was talking about my medical. I was talking about the mailbox. I was talking about having to buy a car. What a pain in the ass it is, but I'm going to do it.
Other than that, he's.
I don't even know. My credit, I might not be approved. I don't know yet. And I hate having to deal with the dealers, and I have to figure out
the game that they play.
I'm figuring a new Nissan Versa automatic is 16. I should check 16, 17. They want 2021. I'm like, it should be that high. I haven't said to the guy in room for. I checked that one. I'm in room for negotiation. Well, no, there's only about $200. I'm like, this guy's lying to me, but okay. I said fine. I didn't buy it. Obviously, I was like, okay, fine. I'll think about it. I just left, but what else? I gotta set up my gimme that link. We know that James is effectively useless. He's like a different animal now. But if you can do one last thing before he flies the coop forever, you can do one thing of value. I think that's about it. That's all I have to say, really. I think anything you want to add or anything else? Anyone want to discuss anything? I mean, I put those shrink videos out for you people to watch, and only a handful of people really digested. Most of it was just stupid. The comments were just stupid fluff.
Yes.
But I do appreciate the Lord himself coming out and commenting. I appreciated that.
Oh yeah, he gave some good feedback.
Yes.
He digested the videos, understood them, and he wasn't joking or being mean. He had legitimate commentary about it. So good for him.
Yeah, that's really all that matters. I don't care about all the fluff and the trolls and all that. As long as you get some, like the one little diamond in the rough. So that was it. Was I'm glad Todd was kind enough to watch and respond to those videos. In fact, maybe we'll pull up his comments and talk about them in a minute if I feel like it.
Yes.
Well, what do you appreciate about them, Cassandra? Did we cross another boundary with you? I said to the shrink, I don't like this whole, go fuck yourself. Yeah, Cassandra reminds me of that and reminds me of him. In fact, I started off with him, the whole boundary thing. He was talking about this area. I'm like, oh, you're an expert on this area when you had no idea before. Yeah, it's.
Yes.
I'm not yes. Don't be an asshole. I'm trying to. Where was I? Okay, let's go and see. How do I do this again? It's been a while since I've done this. Hold on. Let's go back to this. Let's open that up. It's been a while since I've done this. If you're not, you don't use it, you lose it. Yeah, maybe one of these days I'll upload some more. I just wanted the reason I uploaded those three, they were back to back to back, and it seemed like we continued with a thread because I had two back to back. I think I had a Wednesday, Thursday, and then he picked me up again on Monday. So it's like he starts forgetting things, so it was still fresh. So I was able to do this like trilogy kind of thing, and I wanted to share all that. Well, no, I explained to him even if I'm ODD, it's probably in response to how I'm treated for being a Spurg. He's so dead set against me being a Spurg, despite and he even thought the neuropsych was some teeny bopper fly by night. This is all in the video. And the videos, I said, no, she's a legitimate 50-something, neuropsych in a hospital. Oh. But you were saying, you've talked about this too, buddy. In his generation, because he's in the 70s, in his generation, autism meant, classic autism. Yeah, you were saying, come on, sure. Sometimes you have great points. Like you should mention that on stream, but you never.
It's like his construct of what autism is outdated and no longer really that valid. Younger.
Well, because at some point he said one of the videos, I forget which one, he said something about these people probably don't even pay attention. He said, well, you might have had Asperger's. I said, yeah, if you want to go that route, sure, I have Asperger's, but they've rolled into autism. He goes, oh, I know they have. I'm like, okay, so I'm autistic. Oh, but I don't think you have Asperger's either. You just said I might have Asperger's. Like, what the fuck? So he doesn't even, it's almost like he doesn't, I think he's afraid of getting he's just trying to collect his shekels. It's so great. He doesn't have to bring patients in anymore. He can just sit there at his computer and collect money for this. So I think he doesn't want any extra homework, any responsibility, any the government contacting him saying, what does this guy have? Do you think he's autistic? Yeah, he does sound like Jordan Peterson. He's a Canadian Jew, grew up in Montreal. Now, Montreal, Quebec is a predominantly French-speaking province, but Montreal has an English-speaking quarter, and most of the Jews who ended up there from the Pale of Settlement in the 1800s, they chose English over French.
Yeah.
So he's just like William Shatner, a Jew from Canadian Jew from Montreal, or what's his name? Not from Montreal, from Sherbrooke. What's his name? First we take Manhattan, then we take Leonard Cohen. Yeah, Canadian Jews in Quebec chose English over French. Yeah. Yes, he said. I even said, "What's Jordan Peterson gonna do for me? Tell me to clean my room." I mean, I should clean my room, but that's not going to solve my problems. No, it's a video about aging.
I guess those Canadians stick together.
Yeah, it's again.
The Canadians supporting Canadians.
Not just that. Like Chris Dubbs in Australia is telling us, chicken or the egg dilemma. Yeah, it's like. I even said to him, maybe the neuropsych sees my autism, you don't. Maybe you see my ODD, she doesn't. Maybe you're both right. Maybe you're both wrong. Maybe you can both be right. Maybe I have both, and she's used to seeing one, you're seeing the other. But he seems to have a real blind spot for even admitting that I might be on the spectrum. He's really dead set against that. No, he's definitely has a Canadian accent. Absolutely, he's got that. Every now and then he'll say about that day, about the process, Some normie advice from another normie. Thank you, our resident normie. Okay, but let's see what did. How do I do this again? This is different. Where's share screen?
You got to open up another window.
No, open up No, here it is. Hold on. Here it is. Let's share the screen. Are we sharing screen? Okay. We've shared screen. This is the first one. And let's go here to comments. Let's see. So what did Todd say? Oh, I can't read Penny Pounder's replies. I can read his regular comments, but not his replies. Probably semi-blocked. I'm like, this is my YouTube channel. I should be able to do that. But anyway, he says, you're way too open about wanting SSDI. It didn't start out that way. Mm-hmm. It didn't start out that way earlier on. It sort of developed that way as time went on. I started getting frustrated with this guy. And I started telling my stories. And it's like, okay, even if you never fully understand, you hear all the problems I have. You know I'm a fuck up. How can you keep saying, you got to get a better job? You just haven't found the way. I told him, the most recent thing at the auto parts store, the guy wants to break my jaw. I started that job long after I started seeing him, the doctor. Yeah. So it's like, this shit is still happening. It's a pattern that keeps repeating. What the fuck? So at some point, it did come out like, hey, maybe just as a safety net, I can still try to improve. Because, hey, in theory, you don't have to be on SSDI forever. If you improve, you can go back to work. So I can play that out. But yeah, I started being a little too honest about, when I have a safety net, you can see how the poor track record I have. So according to our Lord and Savior, grotesque subhuman, way too open about wanting SSDI. They hate this. True. He does. He hates them. They're well trained to catch people who just want bucks. Well, okay, maybe he's starting to think of me that way. I don't think it started out that way. Yes, you're correct. A report will probably be requested from him. Yes, well, that's part of it. It could be good or bad. It could be damaging, but it's one other source. If I have a psychiatrist and a neuropsychologist, now I have just the regular psychologist, the doctor that you saw. So yeah, you have the autism. So shut up, go along and apply. It's only, do I need to buy a car? In which case, I can't be waiting for a neat bucks when I have a fucking $20,000 loan over my head. All right, but yeah, so now it's kind of scary. Now, where were we? Okay, I'll go back to full screen. Okay. What is he saying? How does he? He means the shrink.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. Because he kept, before I got diagnosed, I told him in advance, back in like June, July of 20. Was it 23? I got diagnosed. Has it been 2? Yeah. Yes, it was 23. It's amazing how time we're in 25 now. I've been seeing him since February 23. Back in the summer of 23, I said, listen, I found a neuropsych who's willing to do the diagnostic tests. Well, I don't think you have autism. Let's wait and see what the neuropsych says. And then when he got the reply, I sent it. I faxed it to him. Well, I'm not sure. I agree. I'm like, even just recently, saw these videos. For some reason, I thought she was a young something. No, she was a well-established, older than me. It's like he has some kind of hang-up, some mental block. Well, that was to prove a point about, if I'm ODD, I wasn't always ODD. I'm a spurg who was mistreated, and then, which in turn led to me becoming ODD. Chicken or the egg, like, you were saying. Right, he's in his 70s. He thinks the workplace is still the 1970s, 1980s. He's still, yeah. Okay, where was I? Stop screen. Got no friends because they read the papers. They can't be seen with me, and I've been a real shot down, and I'm getting mean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. They said he's sick. He's a C. All right. So the other comments here is part 2. Why don't we take this? Most of these comments are just bullshit. But here we have our Lord and Savior, and I appreciate his commentary. It's funny. The timestamp here, I'll show you real quick. Piss him off.
Go to a movie with,
No. The shrink. Right. I have superficial acquaintance. Shrink is asking about any childhood friendships or some shit.
You ever try?
The boy down the street, you remember him.
Yeah. Right? Did you ever try to
we were buddies, then at some point we had a fall. I don't even know what it was about.
Call somebody, from work or somebody you thought maybe could be a friend and say, hey, I'm interested in this movie, or or play a video game with them online or something. Nothing? You never tried?
Maybe when I was younger, in my 20s, maybe.
Or a student,
sort of things with just her friends, kids. No, I had a few like acquaintance friends, and I usually have falling out. There's one when I lived in down the street. There's this one kid down the street. He and I were buddies. We got along, and then at some point, I did something to piss him off, and he didn't want to talk to me. I've alienated a lot of people. So like Todd is quoting the Shrink's laugh. Yeah, you alienated your buddy down the street. You are an insufferable dick. You know, it's funny, that friend, let's talk about him for a minute. He was kind of a weirdo too, but we got along, and somehow we had a falling out. But the thing with him, I used to love, if you ever remember the game, it was a game for Sega Genesis called Toe Jam and Earl.
Oh, yeah,
And he and I used to just play it and play it all summer until we finally beat it. Toe Jam and Earl for Sega Genesis. We got along. And you remember, something happened. Like, you were still friendly with him, but he didn't want to talk to me. I couldn't come to his house anymore. And it wasn't his mother who, I think he was pissed with me. I don't remember what I did. I'm like, what was his problem? He had a fall. I don't remember what I said, or he did, I don't remember. We used to play Toe Jam in the summertime. School's out. We like playing Toe Jam and Earl. He was lucky enough to have the video game in his bedroom. So I'd sit in the bed, he'd sit in the chair. We play. I was Toe Jam, he was Earl. We kept playing and playing and playing until and every because that game was great. It was non-linear. Every level was different. It was always different. No two levels were ever the same except like the base levels. And we played it all summer. We beat it. We were so happy. We were like 11, 12 years old every year. Yeah. And then like we had a falling out. I guess maybe he was just using me to beat the game. I don't know. But where was I? How you doing, Commander K?
What's up?
Let's get back to this. Where was I? Add to stage. What was the other comment? So that's all that comment. That was funny. But this one here. Yeah, only blacks and Jews can be marginalized. He watches Jordan Peterson. Yes, he does. Yeah, the mental health field. Okay. Yeah, at one point he goes, I could understand if you were like the one black kid in the class or you were Jewish and they knew it, but I didn't understand what you're being. I'm like, yeah, it's a silent disease. I'm not going to go back and find where he said that. It's like, yeah, only blacks and Jews can be. Yeah, absolutely. Grotesque subhuman is correct. Yeah, where was I? All the fucking time. I've been living in burnout for the past 5 years, but yeah, absolutely. The burnouts, yes. The autistic burnout, absolutely. Now, I have to go more vape in a minute if we're going to keep going with this, but we'll see. Okay, did I share screen? Where am I? Okay, in the third video, give me a minute here. I hit out always defaults to like the bear. Oh no, 7:58. Okay. Point is, let's do this. Yeah, I can't see Penny Pounder's replies. I can see when he leaves a main comment, but for some reason it's weird. I'm like, this is my channel. I should be able to see everyone's everything. If I log out, I can see him. But I don't really care about Penny Pounder. He goes here. So first start with this one. What's with these guys who wear jackets indoors when 60 degrees? Yeah, he's always in a jacket. I wonder if he has air conditioning. He is with the AC and the heat on for some weird reason. He's about. I'm always in a flannel, but a jacket must be heavier. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. All right, what is this? Okay, would it help if I were Jewish? I can pretend. Would that help? Oh yeah, the shrink said maybe you can become a psychologist. And I said, well, would it help if I were Jewish?
Why? What would Jewish mean? Do I don't understand.
Doesn't give you a bigger in. Is he really that clueless, or is he being disingenuous?
Yeah.
Is he? What does that mean? Maybe he really is that naive, and he doesn't know how he got an in that most of us don't get. Yes. Or is he really just playing dumb, being disingenuous? What does Jewish have to do with it? Oh, yeah, like come on. Okay, would it help if I were Jewish? I can pretend. Would that help?
Why? What would Jewish mean? Do I don't understand?
Doesn't give you a bigger in the field.
Oh, stop.
No, I'm just asking. I don't know. I thought, would it help if I were tribe? You can be honest.
Stop.
This is my uncle, and he's going to get me in. Yeah, okay. No, but no, I that's one of the reasons I still talk to him, because I can say things like that to him, and he doesn't like get super offended and say, I'm never talking to you again. Just imagine, need some more beer?
I'll get some.
You get some beer, I'll probably get some vape in a minute. But there was one other comment. When you come back, we'll talk this other. I didn't quite understand some of the comments. We'll look at that in a minute. So far, so good. What excuses have I made? I'm a Spurg. I've had these things happen to me. I'm not making this shit up. And it's hard to, no one's ever, if you haven't lived through it, it's a lived experience. Like I tell your buddy over there, it's a lived experience, man. Well, he should know me well enough by now. I will speak my mind with him. I'll say, yeah, well, then give me a bigger in the field. So I don't know why he was playing so dumb like that. Instead of saying, oh, stop, that's just a stereotype. Even if it's true, he could have just brushed it off. He acted like he had no idea. What does Jewish have to do with it? Like, come on, man. This can't be the first time you've heard this, unless you really are that naive, in which case, what good are you? But yeah, that'll bring me to the next comment. But I'll wait for my brother to come back. Just grab another jug, man. Don't have to...
Calm down.
Oh, I thought you were like going through for what do you want a car? Just grab a jug.
Calm down.
No, I'm not going to calm down.
That's what I did.
Because this look, I have a problem with this comment. I want you to explain it to me.
Okay, let's read it.
What is the point of seeing this guy? I quasi-answered that. Confirming, not to confirm the diagnosis, Help with something? Well, I guess he's someone to talk to outside my family, so I'm not burdening my
Yeah.
brother. It seems like you're mostly trying to convince him in these sessions, which isn't going to happen. You're right. He's probably. I still wonder, even if this shrink is never convinced, is he going to make some kind of concession? Like, how does he explain this stuff away when he sees someone who is breaking down any of the beliefs his pre-held beliefs that clearly don't always apply, just to try to get a little, just almost like fascination, but we can't see it here. Penny Pounder said something like he's got to go back to work or some shit, and I don't understand what does this mean here.
Unfortunately, but he'll have to do that himself.
It doesn't say do. Unfortunately, but he'll have to that himself either way. I understand what he's trying to say here. I can understand. Unfortunately, but he'll have to do that either way. What does himself mean? I don't understand. Yes, I'll have to get a job either way very very soon. So yeah, I don't understand the comment. Unfortunately, but he'll have to that himself either way. I understand if he said unfortunately he'll have to do that anyway, but yeah. But why? He knows what I'm thinking. He knows I'm going to tell him. What could just playing dumb do? Okay, so yes. All right. Gotta get this mailbox in. Might have to buy a car. Gotta get a job ASAP. It's like Christ.
Yes.
All right. All right. Have we discussed all there is to discuss then?
I believe so.
Well, it was good to have feedback from our new Messiah because worth the posting and worth all the other junk. And maybe I'll upload some more of his videos. Me and the shrink. Then hear when I say anything about the shrink? No, this asshole didn't watch those videos, so it's like, why is he even commenting?
No idea.
This bitch wanted to talk about the videos, and she's like, "Oh, it's like." How many stereotypes would there be? The industry is run by kikes. I mean, what other stereotype could there be? No one wants to talk about these videos. See, it's like I put these videos up. The only one who might want to talk about them would be, what's his name, Dev Pike, but he's probably asleep. But I can't stream on Dev Pike's. In fact, we weren't even going to stream tonight. This is impromptu.
This is ad hoc.
Ad hoc, yeah. Part of the reason I streamed, I think, is because I was so appreciative. I said to my brother, how do I respond? I was to do a stream. No, I do appreciate Todd's commentary. It was very. Everyone else, who cares? But with Todd, I said, I should probably instead. I'll just make a stream where I explain what's going on and respond to his comments because I do appreciate the viewership. With everything else, it's like meh. So that got me to stream earlier than I wanted to. I was thinking, I'll stream in May sometime if I feel like it. I know he didn't watch the videos either.
No.
We're talking about the shrink videos now, man. But thank you, Off Grid. When I get that new car, man, I'm driving out to Oregon. You guys say Oregon. We say Oregon. Polk County, I'm coming. We'll hang out, shoot some guns, look at the tall trees and shit.
Yes.
Like the self-control and the willpower. Well, I'm looking for a safety net in a way because I've tried. It's like the pattern keeps repeating. Like the stories I've had, I'll start doing my story videos.
Yes.
I'll start with the pool. Oh, because Dev Pike was getting confused between the black girl who tried to run me over and the Puerto Rican girl at the pool. Two different things.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican girl at the pool, she was more scared of me. She was hot, but she was scared of me, and she called the police. They only knew who I was because they were here when I broke those things. I burned my hand because I never gave her my name. And she was hot. She was a very good-looking Latina, mestiza.
Oh, yeah.
I got the video. That's a separate incident from the black nigger bitch at work who tried to run me over. I guess maybe, when I'm talking to my shrink, he already has some backstory, so I'm not going to stop and say, shrink, there's an audience. Let me explain to the audience. No, so maybe sometimes it's confusing, but I think a lot of these people don't really pay attention. They half watch or they listen in the background. Yeah. So Dev Pike was getting confused between, he thought the nigger bitch who tried to run me over and the Puerto Rican girl who called the police. You saw that? Oh, my God. Two different people, two different stories. Yes. Yeah. I already sang that. It's like, are you in and out, man? Now you're pissing me off. I thought you were the first one here, and I thought, wow, I knew who my true buddy is here, but. Yeah, I guess that was quasi helpful. He claims I've always known about this. You guys, I've known about this for years. I told you it was a yearbook photo. They showed a bunch of pictures, like class photos. It wasn't our main picture in the back of the book. And I was going like this. And people were like, hey, man, what are you doing? It's something I've been doing for a long time. I still bite my nails, but not the way. Like when I was a little boy, I was constantly biting my nails. So I think is mainly part of it is maybe it's security, but also because I never suck my thumb, but I always bite my nails, and I think it's a way of stop, don't bite your nails. So replacing I gave up cigarettes for vape. I gave up one bad habit of nail biting for this. And the shrink claimed, I've noticed that before. I said, why didn't you say anything? I'm not sure if he actually noticed, or maybe he had noticed, but he hadn't really thought about it, because after I pointed it out, he's like, oh yeah, I've noticed that before. Well, why didn't you tell me? You're my fucking shrink. Yes, it might, but apparently not him. Oh, I've noticed it, but I have bigger fish to fry or some shit. You saw the videos before? You've seen them, yeah. You okay, buddy?
I'm okay.
We're already burning out. This also burns my brother out. I appreciate him joining me.
I'm doing all right.
Does brother Click want to add anything to the Spurg out too high energy and people don't like you in the first place? That's correct. People don't like me in the first place. It's called being a Spurg off Grid Live. That's what being a Spurg is. That's not on purpose. Sometimes it's like you didn't watch my videos. I even say chicken or the egg again. Like he said that the shrinks are the same stupid thing, the same stupid blue pill bullshit. Like, well, you stopped for an iced tea when the boss man at the job didn't want you to. True. It added to it accelerated. It added to the flames. The boss man didn't like me to begin with from the get go. And I told the shrink, when I see if the guy were a hard ass, if you were treating everybody like an asshole, I'd say okay, he's just an asshole. But when you were late, no big deal. Occupational Click, you were late. That's why I hate you. That's it. If you're late one more time, you're getting fired. And I say, whoa. That guy's been late every day. You don't care. I'm late once and you're ready to jump in my throat. Clearly, this isn't about me being late. That's just the excuse. So the whole you're being annoying is the fucking excuse. The retro, and that thing I read online, someone put it best. It was brilliant. If you watch the videos, it's all been addressed. It's like retroactive. For some reason, that's saying a woman knows if she'll sleep with you in the first 3 seconds. Normies know if they hate you if you're different. Even though they know what a Spurg is, normies know if they hate you within the first 3 seconds. And they might not be able to explain it themselves, so they retroactively go back and say, well, he said that, or he stopped there, he did it. We all have flaws. You can find, if you want, you can pick anyone out and make a whole laundry list of reasons why you don't like them. But the truth is, they don't like you to begin with. So no, you're totally wrong. You sound like a blue-pilled fucking, like my fucking Spurg. Like I'm a Spurg, like my fucking shrink, I meant to say. He wants to know why you shaved off your head. Not shaved off, why you went down to 3, 4, 5.
We had a nice warm day a couple weeks back, so I said, okay, warm weather's here.
Yeah, it was in the 60s. We thought springtime's here. Cool.
Yeah, so I just decided I would shave it all off, clean it up, but then it got cold.
Then last night, we got frost last night. So it's that time of year. It's April. You can get a very nice, pleasant day. You think, wow, it's springtime. The next day, it's fucking, like free frost again.
Yes.
I think we're done with snow. I don't think we'll see any more snow this year, but we can see frost on and off till mid-May. So this is Jersey. It's not Alaska, but it's not Florida.
Yeah.
We'll have on and off frost till the middle of May. But by Memorial Day, everything should be nice and warm. So and not raining. I can put a fucking mailbox in, but I can't. What is Cassandra saying?
I mean,
well, that's why you've joined me a few times.
Yeah.
You've added insight, like
all that minutiae might be challenging, plus kind of boring. Just like, what did you do today, hour by hour? I mean, once he starts working again, we can maybe do something like that.
I shaved down to a goatee, starting growing again. I feel it was a week or two ago. I decided to buzz because again it was getting warmer. I wasn't ready for a haircut yet, but I said, let me shave the beard down to a little goatee, stash goatee. So yeah, I shaved. He went to the barber and said 3, 4, 5 and got it buzzed down. He wanted a haircut because we thought, springtime. We got that fall, maybe an early spring, but no.
Yeah, no.
Does Humog whom? I've always said I think he has a better face than I do, but he's a manlet. So it's like if you were my height, he'd probably be a normie. I think I'm ugly, weird, glubby Spurg. He's short. I mean, what do you think? It's hard to say who mogs who here.
Hard to say.
Pressured speech, part of being a Spurg. That sounds like one of those things you read online. Like everything's a sign of intelligence. You like to scratch your ass, it means you're a rocket scientist. You like to pick your nose. Oh, you're the next Picasso. Yeah. Thanks, Parker Peters, but yeah. They do. Well, did you even see the videos, Cassandra? Did you see the videos? He was talking about another client of his who does something weird, like he'll raise his hand and start staring at it. And I said, well, does the guy have a diagnosis? And the shrink said, well, I didn't diagnose him. I said, does he have an outside diagnosis like me? Not to my knowledge. I said, well, have you pointed it out to him? Well, no, I don't think it's appropriate. I'm like, well, you're the shrink. Did you even watch these videos? It's like, why am I repeating myself? Like, Christ. I uploaded these several days ago. Why are these people even watching? They're just perusing. Oh,
Well, I mean,
Starling just want to fucking stream.
you have like 3:45 to an hour long video. It's like it's a lot to digest.
It is. Well, digest and come back when I stream in a month. Off-Grid is at the gym right now, so only halfway listening. Bad time. I appreciate you showing your support because I missed you too. I mean, we go back, so I missed you too. But if you're busy, go work those quads or what the fuck you're doing. And you are wrong, but you're wrong because you're not paying attention. So we'll talk about it when you're more focused, okay? But thank you, Off-Grid. You are dismissed. I'm 5'9". He's what, 5'4"?
I'm 5'4".
I'm 5'9".
So where's Run Gun from?
I want to say I think he's Australian. He on Running Gun. What's your story again? He's 20 something. He's in his mid 20s. He claims he's engaged. You're from Australia. You're marrying your cousin or some shit, like an arranged marriage. What's the whole story? Tell us your story, Running Gun.
I don't know what that is in the metric system. Well, he's mentioned a few good things he's had, but okay.
That's Running Gun actually is a good question. The question is for Off-Grid Live. Why are you at the gym and watching OC? Pick one or the other. Preferably watching OC, but if you've got to hit the gym now, why are you trying to multitask? Yeah, you need to give your undivided attention. This isn't just some fluff stream. This isn't like some background music. This is Occupational Clicks channel. So if you're preoccupied, you're not going to be able to do both. Running Gun is correct on that one. Oh, you're how old? You're 25 and you're engaged. I forgot the whole thing. You're engaged or what? You feel like I'm not being completely real with yourself and doing this for entertainment? No. Well, entertainment in the sense that I'm putting myself out there. In real life, who do I talk to? Even if I wanted to, no one's going to listen to this. So there is an entertainment value. Well, I'm a lolcow for some of you people, but there's also that sense of, yeah, I know there's an audience. I'm talking to people, but no, this isn't a joke. This is me sharing my life, and people can't believe it. So I don't think you're that bad. You just don't want it badly enough. You're just doing this for entertainment value. I've heard this shit from my shrink. I heard it from your buddy Destroyed by Foids. I'm hearing it from you. Okay. Well, he's seen me long enough, Cassandra, that I wouldn't feel uncomfortable with it. Maybe he himself feels uncomfortable. He doesn't know how to address the issue. He's my shrink. He should know me. Like I asked him flat out, would it help him a kike if I want to be a psychologist? It was his suggestion I become a psychologist. Whoa, what does Jewish have to do with it? So he knows the type of person I am. If he's a real good shrink, you should know after 2 years, he could say, well, I have noticed. You could have pointed that out, but yeah. Okay, we'll answer your questions when you answer ours. How old are you? How old is your fiance? Where are you from? Give us your stats. How tall are you? White, black, Hispanic, American Indian? Give us your whole age, location, stats. Yeah, height, all that shit. Endymion from California. I think he's my age. Maybe Parker Peters is damn near 50. Endymion, I think, is my age. Norwooding, but not too Norwoody. Okay, lives in Southern California. Major depression. Am I correct? White. I think. Or who was half Hispanic? Was that him or was that the other one? I can't remember. That was the other California. I don't know. I don't know what 1.73 is. You're a white guy, black guy, abo. What's your Indian, Oriental? What
is that? Meters? It's like a meter is 3 feet, right?
I have no idea. I have no idea what that is. Someone do the calculation. Tell me 1.73, whatever that means. What does that mean? He's phoning in your appointments a bit?
Phoning it in means half-assing.
Oh, that kind. I thought you were talking about the actual telehealth thing.
No.
You're phoning it in. Yeah, he's half-assing. Okay, so that's it. So that's why they were saying you have an arranged marriage, correct? So you have the benefit of, yes, Faisal has bequeathed his daughter because we gave him 5 camels and he promised his daughter's hand in marriage. So you have an arranged marriage. If you didn't, you'd probably be a sell yourself. I don't know. Yeah, so you have is it an arranged marriage? Is she also Middle Eastern? This is some kind of family, betrothment thing. Yeah, Parker Peters, damn near 50, white guy from Georgia. Endymion, were you half Hispanic or if not you, there were 2 Californians. One was half a spin. I can't remember which one. They're both about my age. I asked people their stats. I'll probably forget. Okay, so it's all right. So you're really not in a position to bitch. Would she want to marry you if it wasn't arranged? I mean, I don't know what you're.
Now, is she also from Australia or is she from the Middle East?
Okay. You hold the fort. I'm going to get some more vape, charge these up, get a new cartridge. So can you hold the fort?
Yes, I can. Okay, so I'm guessing run and gun. Were you born and raised in Australia, or did your parents bring you there when you were a kid? And what about your future wife? Was she born and raised in Australia, or what's the story there? All right, I guess a goat. Oh my god, my back. Huh. Okay, but how old were you when you moved to Australia? All right, well, thank you, Cass. So he's a normal height. Yeah, he's an all right guy. Oh. Okay, that's interesting. You were 11 years old, and was it a culture shock, or did you have no time? Was it easy for you to adjust, or was there some awkwardness at first? And did you feel welcome? Did you have friends?
Wait, so his betrothed also from Australia,
Correct, sir.
but they have an arranged marriage?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Off Grid Live. You got to work hard. You really got to hustle. You got to make a life for yourself. What about you, Off Grid? Oh, I'm waiting for my dad to die so I can inherit his business. It's like that's what you sound like. Like Off Grid, I'm happy for you, but you're in no position to dictate, how I should hustle and work harder. And you, Run and Gun, you're guaranteed a wife. Who the fuck are you to lecture me? It's like you people aren't even on the same planet as us. If Daddy's giving you a business and Daddy has a deal to get you a wife, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you got some sand nigger who lives in Australia with an arranged marriage telling us, I hope his wife, fucks Chad on the side and maybe it's gonna be funny.
It's a yardstick and a meter stick are one and the same, I thought. So 1 meter is 3 feet. I could be wrong.
Where was he born? What Middle Eastern country?
Oh, he didn't say.
Which country did you come from, Run and Gun? And you come from money, like the Sheik of Arabic? It's like...
And what was the reason to move to Australia?
Oh, wait, the girlfriend, or the betrothed, we'll call her the betrothed. She was born in Australia?
That's what he said. She said she's Australian.
But she's a Muslim, right? It's been arranged. She's part of the same whatever. So what if she decides, I don't want to do this. I want to fuck Chad. Adding the Australian accent, I want to fuck Chad on the... I want to fuck Chad Dundee on the side,
All right, so he's originally from
You're from Jordan. Your Australian-born betrothed is of Jordanian ancestry? Cassandra, how tall is, what's his name? Run and Gun. Answer the fucking question.
He did.
Where? He's 5'8". Okay, he's been shorter than me. Okay.
Christ, buddy.
Why are we talking about meter sticks?
Because the conversation rolled on while you were doing whatever the fuck it was you were doing.
Well, I come back, the conversation goes elsewhere, okay? It goes back to where I want it to go. So Run and Gun has a wife waiting for him, just like Off Grid Live has a business waiting for him. And hey, I'm not blaming you people.
Yeah.
That's fine, but then you're really in no position to lecture those who,
Yeah.
I remember something Steve Forbes once said. Was Steve Forbes, that's his name?
Okay.
Yeah, what is, I don't know the whole story of this guy. Because he just said he wasn't marrying his cousin. There was a cousin,
Wow.
again, where he's a Middle Easterner, so it's it's like it's a different culture. Even if he's living in Australia, he's not part of the white Western world. It's disgusting. It's different. He's really in no position to lecture us. I think we're all infidels or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, Is that true, Run and Gun? You think we're all going to burn because we don't, in hellfire for not worshiping Allah? Anyway, Steve Forbes is a billionaire who lives not too far from here, a bit north of here. And he was asked once, he said, how did you get to be so rich? And he said, well, I worked hard. I went to school, made a lot of connections. I hustled. I studied. I made wise investments. And after, I just really grinded. And then one day, my father died and left me all his money. So I got all his billions. I thought it was at least honest. It's like, one day my father died and left me all that stuff, hard work, this and that. It's like we're getting lectures from people who are really in no position to be lecturing.
Yes.
Well, is this true, Cassandra? This sounds like a little over the top. It's like he wanted the goat. Like, well, what?
Is this even real? Like, is he really Jordanian? I mean, we have no reason to believe it's a lie. We have no reason to believe it's the truth.
You never know with starlings.
Yes.
Okay, so Run and Gun, Cass is your stalker. So is what she's saying correct? You tried to get with your cousin and it didn't work, so your father got you an arranged marriage. And if the girl was born in Australia, she's probably not going to want to go for it. She'll probably be very belligerent and begrudging.
Unless, Run and Gun, do you come from money?
And what's this thing with a goat?
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
Well, that's on. That's what I just said, Cassandra. It makes it sound. So that's why I'm asking for clarification. Aiden, how are you? Long time no see.
Yeah,
this starling doesn't. That's fine. This starling hasn't been here too.
Where have you been?
Oh, he's kind of.
Why? Thank you. Thank you.
I shaved down to a goatee.
He's complimenting
You
us
didn't
both.
say anything. Where's that? No, 'cause I didn't get a haircut. I did a beard shave. But yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. So you wanted to marry your cousin, but why would you want to marry blood? And how'd you get the arranged marriage? And how can you lecture others who don't have, first of all, not that I want to, I don't have a cousin who wants to marry me. I don't have an arranged wife waiting for me. So you're really in no boat to even lecture us. In fact, I'm putting you to a challenge. Tell your father you don't want to marry this girl, and you go out and find a girl all of your own. And then you come back to me and tell me how easy it is. No excuses. Don't rely on daddy in arranged marriage. What you talking about?
I don't know. I guess Run and Gun. I don't know.
Then do it. By all means. I don't want to hear about you marrying your arranged marriage cousin. No, not like you. You didn't work hard. Your daddy's giving you a wife. And your cousin didn't want to marry you. Why'd you want to marry your cousin? You're not answering the question. So no, it's not easy. And I want to are these people trolls, or are they really that, like our sister lives in a different world than we do.
Yes.
She really doesn't get it. She has no idea what's. I don't expect people to understand, but I expect them to try to. What I even tell my shrink: cognitive empathy. Empathy is to feel what another person's feeling. Cognitive is intellectual. Even if I can't know for what it's like, I can at least try to visualize, try to imagine myself instead of saying, "That's really easy. I'm doing great. What's your excuse?" Well, I don't have a sultan daddy buying me a wife, so it's not even like apples and oranges at this point. Not that I'd want to. I'm glad I'm not a sand nigger, quite frankly. I said it. I'd rather be a white loser than a fucking sand nigger. You want honesty? There, I said it. Oh, of course. My God. My sister's the kind of girl, you'd probably want to buy her and bring her to one of your harems. But yeah. But not just that. She's a girl. They go easier on girls. And we give capital to dotheads. We give capital to women. The whole workforce. We're just giving capital. My sister's making 6 figures in a job which my sister should be working at a fucking grocery store baking cakes. But they get it's. She's doing some kind of IT. How did this become the Run and Gun stream?
Yeah.
Run and Gun, tell you what. Oh, I'm not jealous. I'm disgusted by my sister. God, it's not jealousy at all. I even told her I could die in a gutter. She thinks the same thing. You're just jealous. I'm a hard worker. You didn't get the good job. No, it's not about me. I can die in a gutter. I'm saying you got the job you got because they're giving little girls capital. You need to hire a woman. She's very brainwashed. The whole, men have it so much easier. Yeah, the rich man's son who works for you. Yeah, he has it easier. What about the Mexican guy, cutting the grass outside? Men have it easier. She's all part of that, that sort of Kool-Aid, world. So No, I don't feel jealous at all. And I don't feel jealous of you. And if you think that, you really understand me. So I want you to go back and watch all 3 of my shrink videos and then comment. In the meantime, I'm about to dismiss you. You're pissing me off now. You're not even paying attention to anything. Where did Aiden go? I know he's in and out, but Aiden, I'm getting bored with run and guns. It became the run and gun stream. My God. And run and guns is clueless. Right. How do we respond to this? Because he's still not getting it.
Yeah.
Of course she's enjoying her life. We're living in a world where people like her are promoted. People like her are given things. Good for her. I mean, hey, if I were in her shoes, I would do the same thing. But I'd like to think that I'd be open-minded and say, okay, I'm lucky. I'm going to take advantage of my position. And instead of acting like, I did this myself, that's part of the problem. Instead of saying, like I said, hey, if my daddy's a sultan, he wants to buy me a wife, cool.
Or 4 wives.
Right. But I wouldn't say, I have all this because I worked hard for it. I would say, I get it. You guys aren't as lucky as me. I get it. I'm taking advantage of what I have, but I'm not going to like shit on you because I understand you don't have the opportunities I do. That's the criticism. And if you don't, you still understand, I don't know if you're trolling or if you're just retarded, but I hope your girlfriend cheats on you or your wife, whatever she's going to be. And I hope your father loses money. I wish you pain just so you understand how the other half lives, which you don't want to even try to comprehend. Okay, and this stream is starting to piss me off. Unless he wants to come on and talk to me face to face. Put your face on. Let's talk to you face to face. Show me your face and talk to me. I'll talk with you. I'll hear your ideas. No, you told me work hard like me, but you don't have to work hard for a wife. Your father.
Actually, what do you have a job?
Yeah, what do you do? What are you doing exactly? Explain to tell us. In fact, why don't you come on and tell me face to face what you do and how hard you work? Go ahead. This link's for you. I'm serious. You want to make this? If this is going to be the run and gun stream, I want to see your face. Otherwise, I'm going to ban you in a minute. I'm not the type to ban people. It's like you're not even listening. You're not even attempting to listen. Now he's starting to sound like what's his name, Dev Pike, kind of. I'm an accountant. You are an accountant, or you're trained to be an accountant, and how come you tried to? I understand. Tell me. I want to hear the cousin story and why it didn't work out and why you want to date your cousin. I wouldn't want to date any of my cousins. I'm not from Kentucky, like my good boy Matty Wiggs. I told him I was from Kentucky, but no, I'm from Jersey. The idea of fucking one of my cousins is still there's a line you don't. I definitely when people say, "Oh, I'm an only child or only have brothers. If I had a sister, I'd be fine." It's like clearly you don't have a sister. If you have a sister, you wouldn't think that way. But the point is, so why did you want to marry your cousin? Why did she turn you down, Mr. Hard Worker? Why did you have to settle for an arranged marriage? Why don't you just go out and find a girlfriend on your own? Yeah. Oh, I don't hear any more from you. Come on, click the link. Click. You don't need an account. Just click the link.
Run and gun. Run and gun.
And all these idiots saying, like the kikes, like it's like tribalistic. Yeah, when you're not when you're part of the majority, you're not part of a tribe like that. You don't have those options. Again, you're just not even thinking outside your little tiny box. So come on, I'm tired of talking. Click the link. And all these people say, when are you going to stream again, OC? Why am I streaming? To talk to Run and Gun? Hello, Thule. I'm not repeating everything. You have to go back and watch. I talked about my medical. I talked about a mailbox. I talked about having to get a car. I'm talking to this Run and Gun asshole who's got an arranged marriage, but talking about how easy it is to get a girlfriend. Yeah, Thule, I've been streaming for an hour now. I don't have time for everyone to play catch up. Just because the starlings all fly away together, but then like one's always a straggler. Okay. It's part of being a Spurg. Now, click the link. If you don't click this, that's the last time I'm going to talk with you. Click the link, or you're gone. I'm dead serious. You want to come on, tell me face to face? I'll listen to you. We can argue. We can have a debate. I don't care. But if you're just going to say stupid shit and not even pay attention, that's what gets me. It's not that you disagree. You're not even paying attention. I'll just ban you because I'm getting tired of you. You going to click the link and come on? Thule, you make the time. No, you can just look and say, oh, you're streaming? Oh, you've been on for an hour? Well, I just got here. How's life? Instead, oh. Do we give this guy the audio only option, or do you get rid of him?
Sure. Okay.
You're lucky. All right.
That, yeah.
You have a microphone. Click. I'll just talk to you for 10 minutes. I'm ready to ban you for real because you're not even paying attention. If you disagree with me, fine. But you're not even paying attention. Why am I talking? This is what I stream for, to talk to some idiot retard whose daddy took care of all his problems for him. You can ask him the good questions like, how long have you been an accountant? How much money do you make? You work with your daddy's firm? Cassandra, I gave the choice to my brother. My brother already agrees with you, so shut up. I do talk fast. Okay, I gotta get out because someone's paying attention. First off, even though you put these videos out there, people say they watch them, they're asking you redundant questions.
Yeah,
like,
no, like
everything you're asking me was already answering these videos. Like, what the fuck? But it was all worth it to have Grotesque of Human Todd Thundercock himself.
That's true, yes.
This will be the last comment I click on. You got a microphone? Click the link. I'm tired of this. Show yourself, Arab.
Yeah, and I don't believe you when you say you don't have a camera. I mean, you're an accountant. You have a nice job. You clearly have a camera.
Or your daddy could have bought you one. Guess you can borrow daddy's camera. Well, this is funny. Hold on. What did Cassandra just say? I don't think anyone expects you to repeat everything when they join. So how's life been, OC, bro? See, I'm not going to repeat all that. Just like Cassandra, speak for yourself. No, but I'm getting pissed at your, self-entitled. I'm getting pissed with you. Come on. I'm trying to goad you into coming on already.
Yes. We could have a fruitful conversation, keep it going. But I mean, if you don't make a move soon, we might have to ban you. I really hate banning more than him.
Right.
But if we don't get some...
I very rarely ban people, but when people get to that point, you're not even listening. It's almost like you're being obnoxious.
Yeah.
Hello, Kevin Meebanks. How are you? Where's the beer? And yes, I'm not repeating my whole life story with the mailbox, the car, unless I feel like it. The, what do you call it? What else is going on? Car, mailbox. Oh, the doctor and all that shit.
Yes.
I think we might have to get into...
We will first click on run and gun.
Hold on. I can't do three things at once. Beer comes first.
Yes, it does.
In fact, I forgot. It's been so long. Okay, it's amazing how even in the same stream, people don't pay attention. Whatever. People don't pay attention. People don't pay attention to the same stream. You saw what I did a moment ago. Let's address this.
Yes.
I don't think anyone expects your peer thing when they join. That's what she says.
Yes.
And then, how's life been, OC? I said, I'm not going to repeat myself. Okay, so you remember all that before you want to. Now Cassandra's saying, who said how's life? Don't tell me there's a delay. Now you're pissing me off.
Yes.
Like, are you people paying attention? Fucking starlings. Christ. Okay, where were you? Who do I click on? I'm getting tired of clicking on him. Okay, you got to go study. For what?
Help him out. Help him out, buddy. Hit that ban button.
Not yet. What is he studying for? He said he's already an accountant. What is he? What are you studying for? You're 25. I thought you said you're an accountant already. What are you studying for?
Good question.
Oh, I don't know. What are you studying for, Mr. Accountant? Cassandra, did I answer your question, or are you going to say it was a delay again? Because
She says she sees it now.
Christ. Well, okay.
What? Thank you, Cthulhu.
This will repeat again. The weather got nice and warm. We thought it was spring-like, and then it went down below freezing again. It's just how it is here this time of year.
Yes.
So, but yeah, and I shaved down to a goatee. Thank you for noticing, Tuli. That's great, man. You shouldn't be. Did you get your workout in? Did I motivate you? Did you pump up the jam? Pump up the jam. Pump it up while your feet are stomping and the jam is pumping. Pump up the jam. Okay, but you didn't click the link. So this is your last chance here. Okay, this is your last chance, Mr. I don't have a camera. What kid today doesn't have a camera? He's 20 years younger than I am. He doesn't have a camera.
Exactly. He probably, TikToks and Discords and all that stuff.
Right.
Second nature to him, I would imagine.
Off grid's headed home. That's great. Don't text and drive off grid.
That would not be good.
And maybe if you decide to stream, I'll Starling with you, or you can pull up, or you can pull this up on. He likes to pull up other people's streams on his streams. Wait, who? Cthulhu or Run and Gun? You're not off grid. You're not missing anything either way. Trust me, you're not missing anything either way. There's nothing missed here. Okay, so. All right. Have we talked about everything there's to talk about? Yeah, you put that in the comments too. I've read it already. Okay, hi, very funny, Penny Pounder. Yeah, I see you. Hi, I see you, Penny Pounder. Hi. He never answered all the questions we asked him. He's another one who might have to go soon. He worked today. He's off tomorrow. Rafterman from Maryland. 30s from Maryland. White from Maryland. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's off tomorrow, so we figured we'll do an impromptu stream because I wanted to talk about my recent medical stuff and having to buy a car, which I'm not looking forward to, but I'm going to have to do it. And what else? The mailbox shit that's still never ending. And then something else. I keep forgetting. Maybe I should repeat myself because I forget. Just in general, it's just having a job again, which I don't want to do. But our Lord and Savior replied to my videos, and I appreciate that. All the rest of the crap was worth it just to get the diamond in the rough, that jewel. Yeah.
He gave honest feedback, some good critique. It was informational from him. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're winding down.
It kind of seems that way.
Well, I've always said that's not my primary problem in life anymore. These people, I can't get a girlfriend. She said she would date me if it didn't work out. It's like almost like childlike. You're damn. Let's not go there.
Yeah,
my problems. Why did I call myself occupational click? My problems are having to do with the social environment called work, and I can go back to it now. And I'm a Spurg, and I've told you all this. It's like you don't even pay attention. I mean, I don't care. Again, I've always said this. I don't care if people disagree with me. You can disagree. You can say I'm wrong. I welcome that. But are you even paying attention? At least know what you're disagreeing with before you say it's like stupid shit I've addressed 1,000 fucking times. Christ. Yeah, we're winding down. Yes. All right. Any last minute thoughts? Thank you, Rafterman. You're probably right. I admire people who say, "Wow, I'm over 40, but I Tacoomed 3 or 4 times today." I wish I had your problems in life. Count your blessings. And I'm just sitting here waiting for someone to say something.
Yeah, exactly.
Your run and gun has flown the coop.
Yes.
Got a little too real for him.
Yes.
I didn't have to ban him because he just left finally. Again, cognitive empathy. At least try to put yourself. But he's too young, too inexperienced, and too insular. He comes from like the tribe, and the tribe makes sure you have a wife. He probably works at his father's accounting firm, so he's not really in a position to. Yeah. He didn't answer our questions either. I want him to come on. He doesn't have a camera allegedly. Okay, well, he's probably doing this on his phone. But okay, do audio only. But hey, couldn't even do that. So when people behave like that, it's like, well, what's your goal, man? What's your deal?
Yeah.
Well, you're right there, buddy.
I'm okay.
You might be getting tired. This burns,
A little bit.
No, there are times I can be the asshole, but usually he's asking if I'm always the victim. There are times I can definitely be an asshole, but usually when I am, I know I'm being the asshole. No, when I am victimized, it's like, what the fuck? Yeah. So usually Spurgs like us, we're more likely to be victimized. Absolutely. What do you mean already? You got here late, man. I can't repeat everything. You'll have to ask him. Again, we're not going to repeat everything. All right, do I get a book of poetry? Read a poem? Ah, yes. What was that Rose's poem? Read that Rose's poem. That Australian poet, whatever his name was. We are winding. I have not much else to say. I've said what I had to say. I'm glad I addressed those comments. Maybe I might do other shrink videos down the road and other videos, but I'm glad I got that out there. That shrink trilogy, I called it. I think I'm winding down, so I'll probably get off soon. Yes, I think I'll do some more therapy sessions. So I'll probably call it here. I wish I didn't put the link out because I wanted, what's his name? All right, we got someone who wants to come on. I'll bring him on. I wanted Run and Gun to come on, but here, we'll go with this dude. How are you?
Come on, I'll bring one.
Hey,
I wanted run and gun.
Go turn down your radio.
wait, just a sec. No, it's working.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I just wanted to hop in. I just
Right.
woke up.
For those who don't know, Tom, you're from Austria. Your mother's from India, so you're 28ish, I think you said, later 20s.
Yep.
Okay, so this is
28.
Dennis is from Austria, half Austrian, half Indian. He wants to join us.
Yeah. I just woke up randomly. And I saw my phone that you're streaming. And I thought myself that okay, why not join the stream and see what you guys doing. I watched your last videos which you posted where you went to the therapy. In my opinion, the therapist wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
Because
some people like him, some don't. Like Cassandra likes him. You think, yeah, he's okay-ish. He's not great, but it could be worse. Yeah.
Yeah, because I personally encountered way worse therapists in my life, and they're also boomers. But yours he was kind of open-minded. He wasn't really, I don't know how you say it. Because most therapists have a authority complex, and this guy, your therapist, didn't look like that. I mean, there was a authority complex a little bit, but it wasn't that harsh because he was willing to hear your side, and he wasn't always interrupting your explanation.
Yeah, I've been seeing him for a couple of years. So he, one of the reasons I was saying earlier, I like the guy because I can speak a bit more freely. I say things to him that I might not get away with if I said to another therapist. They might drop me. So I do get that. I think he's just collecting shekels, his coins, his money, because I think he doesn't have to take people in person. If he did, he'd probably retire. I think the internet has allowed him to say, I can keep collecting money. I don't have to actually go to the office every day and look at people in person. I think he's afraid of COVID too, because I keep saying to him, I said, listen, I've been seeing you for 2 years on the internet. I'd love to meet you in person because you might get something from me in person that you can't see in real life. He's like, okay, we'll do it, but you got to wear a mask. So I'm going to try to arrange that this summer. Just meet him once in real life. But yeah, I think he only stays in the business because he doesn't have to take clients face to face anymore. That's my take on him.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you some questions.
Sure. Yeah, that's another thing. One thing, Kevin Banks is correct. I say things in jest, and the shrink even said, I don't really think you're a hateful person. The shrink said to me once, there are people who pretend to be nice, but they hate niggers, they hate Jews. You say things nigger and Jew right out, but I don't think you're hate. I said, no, I'll get along with anybody individually. So he understands my potty mouth. It was one of the reasons why I don't mind talking with him as opposed to other therapists. So, all right, what questions would you like to ask us? Go ahead.
Because you mentioned earlier that you're visiting this therapist for many years. How many years is it?
About February of 23, about two years, 2
years.
months. Yeah.
Was he always like this? Did you notice any behavior changes? When you compare it
for the most part, we were like this. For the most part, he's been more or less the same. The biggest change was when I first started seeing him, I hadn't been diagnosed yet, and he didn't believe I had autism. And then when I got diagnosed, he still didn't want to believe it. So that was one big change. He kept thinking, you'll go see a neuropsych, and the neuropsych will say you're not autistic. It'll prove me right. And when I said, no, I am autistic, here's my report, plus ADHD and all this other stuff, he was like, well, I still don't believe it. He had this big mental block. He even said in those videos, I thought she was a young, and I said, no, the neuropsych who diagnosed me with autism, she was in her 50s, has a professional job at the hospital, has a side office. He thought it was some fly-by-night, so he has his biases clearly. But no, I'd say for the most part, I've been talking to him straight, not from the first session, but, early-ish on, I'd say more, yeah.
Mm-hmm. On a scale from 0 to 10, 0 is really bad, 10 is really good. How would you rate your therapist?
Well, he's not a 10, and he's not a 0. 6. I do like talk. Yeah, I guess we'll say 6. We'll go with a 6. Yeah.
6. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I'd say he's a little, but only because I can get away with saying things to him freely, and he doesn't get all.
Yeah. He's really tolerating your.
Yeah.
Right,
you can see that in your videos, that he really tolerates your behavior. You're a person who is really bold, personality wise. You really you don't how do you call it? You don't. You have your own rules. You follow your own
Well,
thing.
no. See, part of it too. I'm different here and with him than I'm in regular life because, see, first, this is my channel. If you can see who and what I am, if you want to talk to me, fine. If not, go away. And with the shrink, I'm paying him to be my buddy. So I'm more bold with people who have to listen to me or who want to listen to me than I am with. I wouldn't go up to some stranger on the street and start talking about these things. It just, he's my shrink. I figure, well, and a lot of people say shrinks don't really do much anything. So if they're all useless, and I'm going to talk to one, I might as well talk to one that I can speak freely with. So yeah, I see him as, I'm bold with him in ways that I wouldn't be with a regular person on the street. So
because you pay because you pay money, and this is your reason to allow. Is this like, I don't know? Do you view it like this? That all right, I'm paying someone so I can talk with them, and so I can. This is my reason why I can't behave this way more.
In a way, yeah. In other words, I mean, if you really don't like what I was saying, you could say, "I don't want to be your shrink anymore." But yeah, there's a sense of if I'm not going to be nice and. I remember, okay, like I remember when Dumb. Did you see when Depressed and Wanted Man shared his one therapy stream, and his shrink was going on about, oh, a guy went to the doctor's office and and he said, doctor, I'm scared. There's a bulge in my throat, and the doctor said, hey, sir, that's your Adam's apple. And Dumb just sort of laughing like, Dumb, this isn't a boss or someone on the street you got to be nice to. Here's your shrink. You don't have to listen to this crap. You can say, listen, man, I don't want to talk about this crap. You can talk about what you want. If not, dump them. So at least the shrink lets me talk about what I want. I mean, Dumb was acting with the shrink the way you would like a stranger or a boss or a coworker. Like, I'd be nice to people in real life, but if you're going to be my shrink or you're going to come on a starling coming onto my channel here, I'm going to be a bit more open with you people than I'm going to be when I got to talk to the nice little old lady. Hi, you know what I mean? So it's like, I wouldn't want to shrink. What's the point of seeing a shrink if I got to be all?
Yeah. I get it, because this is also a environment where you're allowed to express yourself more, and this is like this is also the reason why people go to a therapist in the first place. So it's a safe space, kind of.
Right.
But I must also say personally, I know. It's usually really normalized to go to a therapist, but there's so many people out there who go to the therapist and still not, real with themselves, or they can't like really, I don't know, speak off their mind with them still. So this is also a personality thing. To be really like.
Yeah. Well, I guess like I told him, like for me, my personality, if everything were fine in my life, I wouldn't be talking in the first place. I don't know why normal people go to shrinks and talk all nicey nice to them, what they get out of it, unless they just want someone to look at for 45. I don't understand, but why some people do that. Because that's kind of what Dumb did. A few times he saw a shrink, he was all, oh. It's like, how's he going to help you if you're not honest about who and what you are? If he can help you, at least show him who you are. So I believe if I'm going to see a shrink, I got to show him who and what I am, not do the nice formalities that you do with strangers or coworkers. But you're right. There's some people who probably see shrinks for years, but don't open up and,
Yeah. Thanks again for sharing those videos, because nobody does this, like share his private.
Well, no, I mean, in fairness, Todd did it a few times. Dumb did it once. I'm basically just following in their footsteps. I don't know if you ever saw Todd, Grotesque Subhuman.
No, I didn't.
You didn't see his. He did it for a while, but he saw a woman shrink who was kind of started going on at the patriarchy, and Dumb shrink was. I don't know. So yeah, maybe just partly personality. This is an occupational click therapy session, which is much different than what Todd or Dumb will give you. So yeah, it is a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I meant is when you compare it to an average person, because I know this is a special niche community, stream or community, and when you compare it to an average guy would never do that. Like, never have the balls to
to talk to his therapist that way. To talk to
to share any mental health videos or speeches which they had.
Okay, yeah, what I'm doing here. Yeah. My brother's a good sidekick, but he would never do this on his own. He wears the shades. Mm-hmm. This isn't for most people. Only a handful get that calling to do this, and I wanted to do it for the longest time. So fuck it, I'm starting to YouTube. Yeah, it's corny as it sounds, it's a calling of sorts. I don't know what prompted me to do it, but I said, fuck it. I want to share this stuff. So.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you
And I'm sorry, does Penny Pounder want to join us? If you want, you come join. Talk to me and Zenesis if you want. If Penny Pounder's saying I don't let him on, you can come on if you want. But go ahead. You can keep, yeah, if he wants to come on, you can have a panel. But if not, yeah, what would you want to ask?
Yeah, when are you gonna see this therapist again? Do you?
I saw him today. I think I see him
Today?
next week sometime. Yeah, I saw him today, but today was a short because I had to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
The doctor said everything looks fine. So I was a little late coming back from my session, but I saw him today. I'll see him next week sometime. So I'll see him. Yeah, so I'll see him again. I have other sessions I can upload.
Mm-hmm. Did you have like in those 2 years where you were at your therapist? Did you have the option once to switch up your therapist? Did you? Because from when I go to a therapist, it might be different for you guys over there. I have the option to switch up my therapist if I don't like him in the first couple of months.
Yeah, well, you can only see one therapist at a time, and if I drop him, there's no guarantee another therapist will take me. Even if another therapist takes me, I might not like them. I might want to go back to him, but he might not want to. He doesn't have to take me back. So I figured, you know what? I can say things to this guy that I probably couldn't say to the average person. So I'll stick with him for now. You could drop and try to. There's no therapists don't have to see you, so I could drop him, try to get a new therapist. Even if I get a new therapist and they suck, I might not be able to go back to the old guy. He might say, I don't want to take you back. So it's a gamble. It's a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
No, you really don't pick. I called a bunch of therapists who took my insurance, and some weren't seeing clients. Others said I wasn't right for them. I mean, you gotta. Someone has to agree to see you. They don't just. You can't just say, I want to see a therapist, and they set you up with one. The therapist has to agree to see you.
Yeah.
It's all. I don't know how it's for you over there, but for me, it's really hard to find a male therapist.
That's another thing. That's part. Early on, I said I don't want a woman because a woman's. I say a lot of misogynistic things. I don't want a black guy because if I say nigger, he's gonna. I don't want a kid right out of school. And I've told this guy there was a movie. I don't ever heard of the movie The Exorcist. The Exorcist. Linda Blair. What's his name? Max von Sydow. The Exorcist.
Isn't it a movie which is came out in the early 90s?
No, it came out in the 1970s about a girl who's possessed by a demon, and a special priest called an exorcist had to remove the demon. And I told this guy, I said, listen, you're like my quote unquote exorcist. I don't want some run-of-the-mill priest. I always talk about the Church of Modern Medicine. I said, I don't want a regular priest, as in a regular shrink. I want the old guy who's been doing this for 40 years. You're not just some kid or some, I'm a priest. I'm going to do a wedding, going to do a mass, going to do a funeral. You're an actual trained exorcist, metaphorically speaking. So I said, I want an older, wiser male therapist, who's not, he's going to be Jewish, of course, but yeah, so yes, but yeah, I metaphorically, he's like an exorcist. You're not just some run-of-the-mill priest. You're like, you paid your dues. You're like the wise one. He doesn't like hearing that. Oh, find someone who knows more about autism. There isn't anybody. Whatever you know, they know even less, asshole. So it's like, yeah, but yeah, he's like my exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can look that up one day. The Exorcist. One of the girl's head is spinning around. It was a good movie. One of my favorites. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about metaphorical demons.
I think there's also a parody movie of it.
Right? Yeah, it was called Possessed and Repossessed. Yeah, there were parody movies. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I saw the parody movie only.
And yes, for a shrink. Well, first they're probably gonna be Jewish. Yes. How is it in Austria? Are most shrinks Jewish? Because Freud was from Austria. Yeah, I wanted a guy, not a girl, to talk to about. It's not sex. This is about having a shrink to talk to. Yeah, I wanted a man, not a woman. I wanted an older one. So yeah, absolutely.
The Sigmund Freud thing is like really, how can I say that? People here, of course, worship in the mental health department. Sigmund Freud is seen as a god. Like here in this space, thought is seen as a god. Over there is Sigmund Freud seen as a god. And even if you criticize a little bit Sigmund Freud, you get like ostracized and punished. It's like it's really because I don't hate Sigmund Freud. I think he did a lot of good things, but there's clearly a bias going on here regarding him.
And yeah, not everything Freud said is still recognized today, but Freud is still seen as like some kind of patron
The
saint.
father of
Yeah.
Psychoanalysis.
Right.
He was there at the beginning when it was
Right.
all new.
He was the
so
pioneer,
yeah,
the father. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Regarding the gender thing, we have I think this is a global thing. That most the gender which is most part of in this mental health department are women. For me, I live in a city which is pretty liberal.
You're talking Vienna? You live in Vienna.
Yeah, Vienna. Yeah, this is like the capital, capital of Austria, and this is like, yeah, also very it's the most liberal place in Austria which you can find. So it's also the most feminist, of course. So of course, you're gonna attract more women coming here and studying in those fields. I personally accounted for me it's like really hard to find a male because they're like there are a lot of male sims also, so I don't want to call them weak, but they behave like really feminine.
Yeah, no, I agree. Same thing here. Most therapists are female, and even the guys, the younger ones, are very, either weak and feminine, or they're, hey, I'm going to be your buddy. So I wanted the older guy who probably wouldn't be like that. So yeah, I got lucky with him. Yeah.
Yeah, the problem with boomers is that most boomers are cocks. So you have this issue also. And the problem is also that those boomers they live in the 1960 era, mentally wise, also. So to find this woke boomer is another task, kind of like I mean, like a boomer which kind of understands, like, okay, the world we live right now is different than he used to grow up in. But I personally noticed I've met the most based, I would say, therapists from the generation wise I met. They were from millennial era.
Well, how old? Because I'm 43. How old are we talking here?
40.
40s. So I should see someone my age. I mean, maybe for you at 28, we seem older and wiser. It'd be weird talking to someone my age or younger. That'd be kind of weird too. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I would say it isn't an age thing for me personally because there is a argument called authority from. There is a logical fallacy argument. It's called argument from authority in philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it means like someone who's above you, like job wise or age wise, everything he says, this automatically means that he's like right because he's in this position. This is
No. I understand what you're saying. No, it's not that he's automatically right. It's that he can't weasel out. And let's say a 25-year-old psychologist might never have had a job where people tried to harm them, might never had to deal with buying their own house yet. In other words, this guy has more life experience, so he can't play the weasel out game. Whereas a 25-year-old might say, everything's great, just go out and get a job like I did. It's great. Well, you're only 25. Live another 10, 15 years, you might get some, just living and learning education. So I'm not talking about the older or, smarter, but the older, this old man has definitely been through things, even if not to the extent that I have. He can't play the feel-good crap that, like we were talking about, that kid who was here before, the Arab from Australia, who's 25 years old. He's an accountant in his daddy's firm. He's an arranged marriage, and he's telling us we've got to work harder, but everything's been provided to him. He's never even been out there in the world on his own, really. So that's what I'm talking about. Not that older is smarter, but older is usually wiser. At least has more life experience. Trying to talk to someone, decades younger than me, I don't think would work out, but,
Mm-hmm. I would also say this has to do with because millennials and Gen Z are really similar generation-wise. They both grew up with technologies. I mean, like those early millennials, maybe not.
Yeah, when I was
But
growing
yeah.
up, by the way, when I was just real quick, when I was growing up as a teenager, they told us we were Gen Y, the generation that came after X. We were Gen Y.
That's the
Millennials seem to
silent
be,
generation.
it's almost like, yeah, millennials are younger than me. X is too old. I'm what they would call a Xennial or a Xenial. I put my
Something in
too
between.
young to be X,
Yeah.
too old to be millennial. So I wouldn't want someone without the at least And plus, I make references that some kids might not understand. So it's good when I can say to the old man, "Yeah, I'm gonna play the tape for you, even if it's a recording. Let me do this." Like he understands what I'm talking. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Back to my point.
Mhm.
In my personal experience, I had really good experiences with millennial therapists because Gen Z and millennials aren't that far off when it comes to economic problems and stuff like this.
Okay, so
And
yeah, right. Whereas the boomers have the bias. They like my shrink.
Yeah.
You're still young. Just go out and get a job. I said, well, I'm young to
Yeah.
you because you're in your 70s, and the world doesn't work
Yeah.
the way it did when you were, my age or younger. Yeah, that's true. It's partly generational. Yeah.
But I still get like, but this argument like,
But on a side note, how old are Gen Zs old enough to be in therapy now? Therapists? How old are the oldest Gen Zs?
the oldest Gen Z is probably by now 29.
So yeah, the answer is yes. Apparently, yeah.
Yep.
So you're Gen Z, basically. Is what you're telling me.
Gen Z. Yeah. But what I want to say, this thing like when people say, "Oh, you're too young," or you shouldn't think like this. So I get this from I can relate to this so much because I get this everywhere where people are telling me like, you're too young. You have So, but I feel more as like, okay, they want to neglect my argument, but like my position when they say like, all right, you're too young. So it's like I view it as a tactic to like brush your explanation.
Well, yes, it can be, but in my case, I specifically wanted someone who's older.
Mhm.
I wanted someone older, much older. I can say, well, you've been doing this for 40 plus years. What's your excuse?
Yeah.
Because you can always argue, like you said. Yeah, you might have a 25-year-old therapist who's great and an 85-year-old therapist who sucks. What I'm trying to say is, this old guy can't make excuses. Like, you've been in this business long enough. You can't pretend this is like. Whereas a 25-year-old might say, I've never had a case like you, occupational click. I'm overwhelmed. I've never had something like this before. That's what I'm getting about, the life experience. So even if they're, smarter at a younger age, they might not have had a client like me. I said, you're an old man. You've been doing this for 40 years. As long as I've been alive, I expect more from you than some kid out of college. So that was part of my, not that he's smarter, but he should have more seasoned experience. So that was,
I can remember that you I don't know which part was it in your videos. You asked there was a part where you asked him like if there's another client who is kind of similar to you, I think.
We were talking about the guy would stare at his hand. Yes, you're talking about some client who would randomly stare. Right.
Yeah, it would be interesting, like to ask him like if he what kind of clients he does he get on the average basis? Like what does the average client which come to him? What kind of problems does he have? I know it's might be too personal for him.
Well, yeah,
but it's interesting.
He's very tight-lipped about that. He doesn't talk about other patients. He has said that he's never had anyone like him and that he has nothing to compare him to.
And I said, well, that's good. You have enough experience that you're prepared for me, whereas a 25-year-old kid out of college, if you at your age have never had someone like me, then you're in the same boat as the 25-year-old. At least you have other experience to draw upon. But yeah, a lot of doctors are afraid of violating confidentiality, so they're afraid to say too much. Yeah.
Yeah. The therapist, the millennial therapist I spoke of, I had like really good talks with him, and he was like willing to share his. He told me like, okay, yeah, I have several clients which have those kinds of problems and stuff like this. He was really open-minded. I appreciated that. So I know it varies from therapist to therapist.
Do you still see him, or you dropped him?
I dropped him because I went only there to have some philosophical topics because I knew because I'm on Neatbucks currently, and
Good for
and
you.
sorry.
Good for you.
Oh yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah, I hope that you both can also get to Neatbucks.
Thank you.
Hey,
Because I hope, because I can see it like from your videos that it's like really nightmarish. I also know it from Todd's earlier videos, that the process to get this kind of thing is sounds like really nightmare fuelish. Yeah, it's really the hardest part, or the most difficult part, is just that it's all luck based. It's really it's random as fuck, everything. Because I mean, like, yeah, everyone can get Neatbucks. Not okay. You can get easier Neatbucks in Austria, but to get Neatbucks in the first place, I have the privilege. I'm an Austrian citizen, so for me it's easier to get Neatbucks
well,
than
sorry, in Austria, if I understand, Neatbucks is basically perpetual unemployment. He's on like a never-ending unemployment.
Yeah.
It's like we have unemployment, but it's temporary. We have Social Security, disability. You have like effectively a never-ending unemployment. Is what you're on?
No. It's. I think I'll explain it not so good. I'm currently on a temporary Neatbucks, so it's basically okay. So it's more like, okay, when you lose your job, you can go the Neatbucks route, but you
Right.
still
We call that unemployment, which I'm on now, which is ending unemployment, but that's temporary. But yeah.
temporary, yeah. And while that, in this process where you're unemployed, you need to apply for jobs and stuff like this. But yeah, you need to apply for jobs and stuff like this, and you need to look for it. And
You want to say how long? When will your Neatbucks run out?
I think it's 1 year.
1 year. Wow. Yeah, I was only on for I had about 6 months. It's ending this April. So yeah, I got to get back to work. You got a year of unemployment, so that's pretty cool.
This because there was a comment regarding its the maximum duration, the maximum I don't know what's phrase of English. Because you can always go to Neatbucks. Like
see, that's what I was saying. See, okay, look, when my unemployment runs out, there's no more money coming in. I got to go back to work. What happens with you if your Neatbucks run out?
Yeah.
Your unemployment. What do you do? How long do you?
I once mentioned that we have a thing going on called Mindestsicherung. And what Mindestsicherung is a universal basic income, because this is like safe.
Right now, are you on unemployment or on UBI? Because we don't have
both. But the thing is that to get UBI, you need to also like still search for jobs and stuff like this, apply, and so it's both are connected. Like 10 years ago, those two were like separate. So it was they kind of patched this route, because many people were like going the UBI route, where they just can like road max, never apply for jobs.
So are you receiving two payments? We call unemployment and a UBI. You're getting both.
Yeah, I get like one from there's a department called IMS. That's the job market service. This is the service where I need to apply jobs, and this is also the department which like monetize, not monetize. How do you call it? They control like the like every month I need to go there, and they want to see that I
Okay, but that's for the UBI or for the unemployment? Which one is that?
That's just for unemployment. The UBI is a completely separate thing.
So for both, you got to prove you're looking for work. Unemployment and UBI.
Yeah. You can only get UBI when you can actively prove that you are looking for a job. But it wasn't like this always.
Right. So right now you get both unemployment and UBI. unemployment will run out. UBI goes on forever and ever as long as you can prove you're trying to find a job.
Yeah, you need to for UBI. In my experiences, I've been only on UBI for like 2 years, but I know cases where people are on UBI for, I don't know, 15 years or something like this.
Right, but you've been on UBI for 2 years. How did you get unemployment? How long has unemployment been going on?
How did I get unemployed? You mean?
Well, no. How did you get unemployment payment? Because in this country, you can't get unemployment until you've lost a job. So you've been on UBI for 2 years. How long have you been on unemployment? I don't know what the terms are, the German, Austrian terms, but you're getting 2 payments.
Yeah.
How long have you been on either or? I mean, because it's confusing to me because here you got to lose a job and you file for unemployment. If you're approved, you get paid. You're saying you've been on UBI for 2 years, but you've gotten unemployment in the meantime. How do you get unemployment? Wouldn't they say, well, you're on UBI, we're not going to pay you unemployment? I don't understand. Yeah.
The thing is, like, when I need to go to when I can't find a job, or when I can't find a job for a long period of time, I need to go to various courses. And what I did is, like, in the first year when I was unemployed, I went to various courses because I struggled getting a job.
Well, what were you getting paid then? Unemployment or UBI?
UBI and unemployment. They both are like really connected.
Okay, so how long have you been unemployed?
2 years.
So you've been getting unemployment and UBI for 2 years.
Yeah.
You say you have 1 more year of unemployment and it would just be UBI only. Is that correct? So you get like 3 years of unemployment in addition to UBI.
Sorry, it's like 2 years. It's 2 years. But it's 2 years on a complete basis with they're both UBI and unemployment because you need to look for a job by your own UBI.
You said you're getting 2.
Okay, so let's hold. So you had a job and you lost that job, or did you quit?
I quit.
Okay, so you had a job, you quit the job, and then you went right to UBI, or how does that work? And you went to UBI, you said, hey, I no longer have a job, and they put you on UBI. And every month you have to prove to UBI you're looking for a job to keep UBI.
Yeah, UBI told me, okay, to get UBI, you need to go to IMS, and that you need to sign in on IMS, so you need to follow those kind of rules which they have, and you need to actively look for a job while you're
for UBI. What about the unemployment?
And then how did you get unemployment? So you quit your job, you got UBI, and then you went to go get unemployment?
Yeah. For UBI, this is like you need to get UBI, you need to have various documents like which like where you need to prove it. For me, in my case, I'm an Austrian citizen. I need to prove that I was born here, that I live here, and I need to also prove to them that I have no family which like supports me. So this is like also a thing which UBI also depends on the person, like the case, like family wise and stuff like this.
Okay, that's for UBI. What about you? Said you got 2 payments. How does unemployment work?
So basically, you quit your job, you have UBI. So you're living in Austria, you have UBI. How do you also get unemployment? And wouldn't they say, wait a minute, you have UBI, you don't get unemployment, or they don't care? You can get both apparently. How did you convince them to give you unemployment?
You get 2 payments. You said you're getting 2 payments.
Yeah, like they might be that I'm that I might not understand you guys, that I'm like interpreting things differently in my head because of the language barrier. But I try to explain it once more. To get unemployment, I need to unemployment and UBI is two separate things. When you lose your job, you can go the unemployment route and get money from unemployment only.
Right, but you lost your job. You quit your job 2 years ago, but you're still getting unemployment. But you're getting unemployment in UBI. So how are you still getting unemployment 2 years later? And how are they two separate things? And,
Let me say, what I want to say is also that the reason why UBI and unemployment is different money-wise is they're both, you get, I get, for example, on UBI, I get like 700 euros, while on unemployment, from the unemployment side, I get only like 300 euros.
Okay, but why are they giving you both? Wouldn't they say, well, if you have UBI, why should we give you unemployment? UBI is giving you like 700. Why is unemployment giving you 300 on top of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy for you. It just doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't unemployment say, well, you're getting UBI, so we're not going to pay you, or
How come you can get both?
I misspelled unemployment. That's okay. Unemployed. I said unemployment
because it's we have Mindest. I don't know how it's called in English.
What's the German word? We'll look up the.
Actually, when we get done,
Mindesteinkommen. Mindesteinkommen is
when we're done, in the comment section, just put the German terms, and we'll look them up. When we get done, you can put them in the comment section. Actually, you might have to go to bed pretty soon. We do know. I find it fascinating. I'd love to talk about more. I'm going to look it up. I'll do my own research because it sounds like in this country, if you get fired from a job and it wasn't your fault, or you can prove, or the employer can't prove that they just cause, you get unemployment. But you can't get unemployment if you quit. You can't get unemployment if you do something illegal, like if you steal money or you try to kill someone. You can't get unemployment. If you're terminated and the employer can't prove that they had a right to fire you, like with my case, they couldn't prove why they fired me. You get unemployment. It's temporary. It's temporary. You just get temporary. You sound like you get UBI and then you apply for unemployment even though you weren't working. So maybe you should put the German terms down. I'll look them up because it's.
I've put it on the StreamYard chat. It's Mindesteinkommen. Because there's
And I was going to ask these next two questions. You get paid these things monthly. Both payments are monthly. Both the unemployment and you also get free housing, and you get like food payments, what we call food stamps, EBT, SNAP, whatever you call it in your country.
I mean, this is included like in the money. Like this is the money to where you, which the money you get from UBI unemployment is meant to like.
Right, but I mean, do you get a discounted rate on your the place you live is a discounted rent because you're on a UBI and unemployment? You know what I'm saying?
It's the same rent.
Same rent, so you don't get what we call Section 8. You still have to pay the same price for housing, but you're getting unemployment and UBI. You're getting two payments monthly. Both these. So what? Can you give us a number? 700 and 300. You're getting $1,000 between the two monthly. You're telling me? That's cool. I'm happy for you.
I'm sorry that I can't explain it so good because I can really explain it really well in German, but I really struggle to explain it, this kind of thing in English. I mean, you could, because I know that I'm understanding things differently, which we're trying to.
No, I understand. I think you're being honest, but there's a language. It's both.
There's a language barrier.
English and German, but also country, USA and Austria.
Yeah,
it's both political and linguistic. But and you're right, 1,000 euros. I'm not sure how much that is in American dollars, but you don't get discounted rent. So is your rent very expensive? You're able to support yourself. Maybe the rents are cheaper in Austria. We don't know.
The rents in comparison to, I don't know where you guys live. Wait, New Jersey, I think. I was
right.
Kind of. I don't know what the prices on New Jersey, so I can't really compare them to. But there's a saying that prices in Vienna regarding rents are way cheaper than cities like London or Paris.
So you're saying
Whatever.
you have rent control, which is effective. You have to like earn under a certain amount to get that. The cheaper rent. You know what I'm saying? Is your rent cheaper because you don't make enough money? Like if you made more, your rent would go up. I mean, you can rent, or is the rent the same for everybody?
We have a thing called, I think this is the term social housing, which you earlier mentioned.
Okay.
I think this is the term, it might be. That's where you get like, there are apartments available which are discounted, where you can, it's called Wiener Wohnen. Let me just type this in. This is the housing project where people from every class can live on those, every social class can live in those apartments.
Okay, it's cheaper rent for everybody who. I mean, so what's to stop a rich guy from taking advantage of the cheap rent, and a poor guy like you can't get a place because it's being rented by a rich guy? So even if they have discounted rent, how if anyone can get that discounted rent? If I were a millionaire, I'd rent a cheap place.
Wait. Let me see. There is a limit regarding money, how much you make. Sorry, I forgot it. There is, but I think this limit is around, I don't know, 5,000 per month. Like if you have an income of above 5,000, you can't get access to those kind of apartments.
Right, so it's kind of like a rent control or affordable housing, we call it here, yes.
Yeah.
But do you have to pay taxes, income tax on any of your earnings when you get UBI and the other
Yeah,
ones?
on those things not, but on those taxes are spared. But usually taxes in Austria are pretty brutal.
All right, so when you get your $1,000 a month, you don't have to pay taxes on. You don't have to pay unemployment or UBI. You just get that money for free.
I only pay taxes when it comes to stuff like food and electronics.
Well, that's called a sale. You pay sales tax. I'm asking. That's called when you buy an item, we call that a sales tax. Everyone has to pay that when you buy something. I'm talking about you have to pay at the end of the year. You have to pay based upon how much you earn. You got to pay a percentage of your income tax.
No.
Okay, so you're getting about $1,000 a month between these two programs.
So like 1,130.
What is that
in U.S. dollars?
Oh, you did the conversion? Yeah.
I did, yes.
Okay, so you're making
1,100. We'll say.
And how long is the unemployment? Because you got unemployment. I'm so confused because when you quit your job, they gave you UBI. When did you get the unemployment? And that runs out eventually, or after 3 years?
I need to apply each year for a new unemployment.
But what about the UBI that just keeps going? You prove you're trying to work, but UBI is
UBI is also like once a year need to reapply.
And you can be on these programs forever if you want. You can be on UBI and unemployment forever.
Or? Like I said before, I know anecdotes personally, which I have from people who were like on it for 15 years. So it depends.
They were on both or just one? They were on UBI?
They're both. They're both. So it's like, but I will also say this is like really randomly. It's like really. I know there are cases where people are on it for kind of forever, but there are also people on it which are only on it for a couple of months because or they didn't get even they couldn't get even on it because they were rejected. So it's like SSI kind of.
Right, but you said earlier that the unemployment might run out in a year. Now you're saying go on forever and ever. So I don't know. Neither of these programs run out, or you could be rejected, or
It's. I said it's like I know people who they were on it for a couple of more years. But in the end, it's all luck based. Like I said in the beginning, it's really random.
Well, no, like with us, like you get unemployment, it'll eventually run out. They don't give it to you forever and ever and ever. You're saying both these, you're on two programs, and you can get both of these in theory indefinitely, both the UBI and the unemployment. You can get them both indefinitely.
Indefinitely means like it's
in
Gonna
perpetuity,
run
forever and ever, never runs out. I'll tell you what. What are the okay? One is called how do you pronounce that? Mindesteinkommen.
Yeah.
What is the other one called? The other you're on 2. What's the other payment? Is this the more expensive one or is the cheaper one? Which one is this?
Mindesteinkommen is I think what you tell me now Mindesteinkommen is because you're asking me now which my Mindestsicherung is I think what you mean.
Right, yeah.
Because it's a different thing.
I guess income is income.
Mindesteinkommen is minimum income to threshold to where you need to be under minimum income to apply to get the right to apply for UBI.
Okay, that's for UBI. So that one's UBI. This one, what is this? Is your unemployment?
This is the UBI, which we call it.
That's the UBI. Mindestsicherung. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah.
Mindestsicherung. Oh, yeah. So that one is. So which one pays more? Which one pays you more?
Mindestsicherung pays more.
This pays more. Okay, so this pays more. And could either one of these run out eventually, or they both go on forever? Or?
I need to reapply for each year.
And there's a chance they might say no. You're not. They can kick
There's
you
a chance that they might say no. Yeah. But there are cases, like I said before, where people on it for 15 years. So it depends. It varies from case to case.
All right. So how long have you been on this one, the more one? How long have you been on that one?
I've been on both for 2 years.
Oh, the same amount of time, 2 years.
Yeah, because to get unemployment, you need. You can only get money from the unemployment, but this amount of money is too low to pay for rent. It's only like 300 euros. So to really live, you need the UBI kind of thing.
What did you get first?
I got the UBI first.
So you got this one, the 700 euros first?
I think. Yep. The case with UBI, it's harder to get UBI than unemployment because everybody is.
But yeah, I know. But you said you've been on both for 2 years.
Yeah.
You got the more expensive one, the one that pays more first, and then you got the cheaper unemployment one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. How long did it take for you to get both of these? You have to wait a while, or you approve pretty quickly?
Unemployment instantly, because that's Social Security.
Oh, well, not really, but okay, not what we call.
It's called the Versicherung.
Okay, but my question. Well, no, wait a minute, stop. I thought it was UBI. That one's more. I thought this one was unemployment. I'm getting confused. Which one's which here?
Unemployment is Mindesteinkommen is minimal income. There's a completely different thing which you're like.
Right, but minimum because I mean, is that your UBI or unemployment? I don't know what the equivalent would be.
Yeah, wait. This is.
Learning about neat bucks in another country.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Any Austro cells here? This is your guy.
You can quit your job and get it. How amazing is that?
You thought with me, like I got unemployment. It took me like a month or so, maybe 3 weeks to apply. Social Security would take months and months and months if I got it.
But the thing is that what I was going to say, I quit my job, but I also convinced the company that they would fire me.
Wow.
From their side.
So Chad Preet, not only can he quit his job, he can say to the boss, "I quit." Oh, and you're going to say you fired me. Okay, you're very lucky.
No, because it's really important for them to also. That's really important for them also to that the company fires you because they want. Because it's really important for them to see, okay, this guy, all right, this is a stuff which is out of his control, and because when you always, I think this is illegal here. When people notice that you keep quitting jobs and like abuse the system.
Right.
So
Yeah,
this will like hinder you to get e-books.
I'm going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
Hold up right back. You hold the
All
fort.
right, so basically, even though you quit, you convinced
How did you convince the boss to do that?
But anyway, let's just say your boss didn't fire you and you quit outright. Can you still get all the stuff if you quit, or do you have to be fired?
It's better to be fired. So it's
Okay, it's better. Let's just say you didn't get fired. Let's just say you quit.
Yeah.
Would you get all this stuff or no? Because over here, if you quit your job, you don't get unemployment. If you quit your job, you get nothing. If you get fired, you can apply and hopefully get something. But what you're saying is you were fired, so it was easier. But I'm asking, if you weren't fired, if you just quit, could you still potentially get it?
I mean, it's hard to me to say. I think that you still can. That there are cases where you can still get sneak bugs, even if you like quit. But I think this only works if you like quit once, and if for example, if you would quit like after every job on a 10 times row, the government is gonna notice that. So, and this is like the reason for you to not get any lead bugs from their side. So I think but I don't know if they're really that strict where they're gonna like, okay, this guy like quit on his first job, now he gets need bugs, and we are gonna deny it. I think this has more to do with pattern recognition.
Okay, so I understand if someone quits a job every month, they're probably going to be looked at and said, "Oh no, you're doing something crazy. We're not going to allow it." But let's just say you work a job for 3 years and then you quit.
Yeah,
they'll still be understanding enough and give you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then why do you say he convinced his employer to say he was fired?
It's easier to get. So basically, what he's saying, as I say, there's 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
One guy quits his job every month. He'll be denied. One guy gets fired. He'll easily get it. The third guy works his job but quits. He can still get it, but it's not as
the
easy.
The boss has to say
No. He's saying no. You can quit and still get it.
I thought he said he had to convince his boss to say they fired him
because it made it easier.
Why would the boss agree to do that? I still don't understand.
I guess he was well liked at his job.
I guess
I don't know.
not only, hey boss, I'm going to quit. I'm quitting. Also, I want you to say you fired me so I can get money. Like a boss, if I were the boss, he's like, "Go fuck yourself." Why did the boss do that for you? I still don't get it.
Is it really that black and white over there?
Yes.
Regarding this.
Yes, you got to prove you were terminated, and the boss has to. If they fire you, the boss has to prove you had good cause. If he doesn't, they got to pay unemployment.
Yeah.
So, what did you have to tell your boss? Just put me down as I quit. Put me down as being fired.
No, the thing is like I have education in kindergarten. How do you call it? Educator. I'm a kindergarten educator, job-wise.
You're a kindergarten teacher. Kindergarten.
Yeah, it's called kindergarten teach. I think it's called kindergarten educator over there.
Well, you're saying an educator is someone who works teaching. A teacher, kindergarten teachers. You taught little kindergartners, little 6-year-olds. What?
Yeah, it varies from 3 to 6, 3 to 5.
Okay.
Were
you a teacher, or were you like an aide, or well, it doesn't matter. I can continue.
A teacher, and the most of the jobs were in an environment which worked with a lot of girls. So I was okay. I need to like build up reputation kind of in the first place when I worked with them. So in my last jobs, I had a good reputation, like because I worked in this job for like 1.5 years. So
wait, stop. If they like you and you say I want to quit, wouldn't they say we don't want you to quit? If you quit, we're not going to help you out to get your unemployment. We don't want you to quit. But why would they say okay, quit and we'll help you? I don't understand. Chad really does have it easier. I don't understand that. I'm
Yeah.
confused at what's going on here. How you quit and they said fine. We'll say we fired you. I'm still like confused. This is very strange.
They can still understand it, like because you can, when you tell them you have your own reason, you tell them, okay, hey, I want to quit my job because I want to how do you call it? How do you call it in English? Let me just Google this word.
Yeah, I'm still trying to know. It's interesting. I'm glad you're teaching us things about your country, but look.
In English, it's called continue to educate, but I don't think it's the right word because I told them I want to study more and I want to.
Okay. So you told them I want to study more so I can come back and be a better teacher. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good excuse, I guess. All right.
Okay. Yes.
And they said, okay, you quit. We'll say we fired you, but it doesn't look bad. Let's say you really did want to go back. Let's say you wanted to go back. You want to get education, come back. Wouldn't that look bad in your resume saying you were fired? I mean, wouldn't that?
Do you guys need to like write in your resumes that you were fired from this company?
But people might say I used to work here, and they can call and say, well, why doesn't he work there anymore? And they would have to tell him, well, we fired him, even though you quit, and they agreed. They would have to say, they can ask, a new employer could say, this guy said he wants a higher education. And he wants to work here. He used to work there. Why doesn't he work there anymore? Well, we had to fire him. He was on unemployment. Yeah, that wouldn't look good at all. That can get back to it. Yeah.
Is it a thing over there that they call your past?
It's a potential thing that they could do. There's no guarantee that they will, but they might call up previous employers and say, "Hey, tell us about this guy," and then that's when it might come out. Yeah.
Did this thing happen to you guys?
Well, I've always worked shit jobs, so it doesn't matter as much. But something like that, like let's say somebody like you, in your case, you want neat bucks. Let's say someone really did want to quit. I want to quit, go back to school so I can get higher education. And the school said, and the school you work for says, okay, well, say you were fired. Yeah, a new employer could call the old employer and say, what happened to him? Oh, we had to fire him. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they can lie.
But again, they might just say, "Oh yeah, we fired him so he could get the most money," and they might all go.
Still
along
sounds
with
very
that.
strange.
Yeah.
This is very strange.
I never had this case happen to me, so I can't really, because I'm aware that this kind of stuff can happen, but personally, in my experience, I never like noticed anyone like.
Here's what else. Okay, so you decide to quit. And you tell the school, I want to go for higher education. In this country, if let's say I was a school teacher and I quit because I wanted to have higher education, if I tried to apply for unemployment would contact the school and say, why doesn't he work there anymore? Why did you terminate him? So, you wouldn't even be able to get temporary neat bucks.
Yeah.
They would ask it's up to the employer to explain. If they fired you, the employer would have to explain why. And if they didn't have a valid reason, you get unemployment. If they fired you for something crazy, like you attacked someone, then you wouldn't get unemployment. And if you quit, you don't get unemployment. But the former unemployment will contact the former employee.
Yeah.
If the employee doesn't respond, they usually give you unemployment.
Yeah.
But they can reach out and say, why did you fire the guy? And
I guess it can happen, but I think, for me personally, it didn't happen to me, so I'm not gonna neglect that it doesn't happen. But I don't know if this is common in Austria also. From our circles, which I talk to, my friend groups, I think it also depends job-wise where you work.
So you can quit a job, get your employer to lie and say we fired him, and Austria says we don't care why you were fired. You were fired. How do they know you were fired? That's my question.
I think it's also this is what you mentioned. It's job-wise because working in a kindergarten is a job which is really. Let me just Google this word first.
Here's what I'm saying. Even if he got the school to say yes, we fired him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this Austrian thing want to say why was he fired?
Wouldn't
Wouldn't you
they-
have to at least confirm you were fired? I'd imagine the government that's paying you the money would ask the employer, to confirm you were fired. Because hey, anyone could quit a job and say I was fired. If they're not going to do any follow up,
And then,
yeah.
okay, was he fired? Yes, he was fired. Why was he fired? And what did they tell them?
They just took your word that you were fired. Why even have? If that's the case, why even have the school say they fired you? Why not just quit the job, lie, say it was fired? If we're not going to do anything, does the government agency even double check any of this? It sounds so weird.
Yeah.
I thought the German speakers were more efficient than this. This is like weird.
Yeah, yes.
Mangel, it's like kindergarten job areas area here, which are there's a lack of employee here. I don't know.
There's a shortage.
There's a shortage, yeah. So they kind of overlook like a lot of things.
And that actually doesn't make sense. If there's a shortage, you think they'd be desperate for kindergarten teachers. Why would you fire someone? But again, even if you got the kindergarten to say you were fired, wouldn't the agency that gives you the money, wouldn't they want to check to make sure you were fired for real? Like, or they just take your word you were fired? I mean, like you told them you were fired. You said, I want unemployment because I was fired. They don't check with your employer to see if you're really fired?
Oh, I mean, like they asked me. I had like questions like, okay, yeah, well, what happened at the last job? Why'd you quit? And I told them, okay, yeah.
What'd you tell them? Did you say, why did you quit, or did you really say why were you fired? Because you said you got them to say the employer said you were fired. So I'm confused.
From the unemployment side, I had like a couple of questions like where they asked me, okay, what happened at the last job? I told them, yeah, I wanted to continue on my education. And I also told them like, okay, yeah, the environment was not, I also told them, okay, the environment was not that good for me personally. I told them multiple reasons also. Yeah, but they never like called back on this back on my
right. They didn't call your former employer, but you still wanted your former employer to say you were fired. So they must check somehow. Otherwise, why not just quit? Why did you quit? Why did you have the kindergarten say you were fired? If the government doesn't check, if the government's not checking up, what does it matter if you quit or were fired? You can just say whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Buddy, am I explaining this?
Yeah.
Why do you have to have them? Why did you need the kindergarten to say you were fired if the government apparently isn't checking?
Yeah. I had I had like how do you call it? A reportee. Like when you quit a job, you can get like not a resume written out, but a brief reason, like why.
Some
like
sort
the boss,
a document explaining your termination.
Yeah. The document, like the document, like your boss is writing a document for you, like the reason why you quit, and like in paper form.
Right.
And
So
this is like
right. You can give that to the government. Okay, but why? I still understand why the kindergarten would agree to write that document. Like, how is it a benefit to them to lie and say they fired you when you quit? Like, what do they get out of that? Because if I were your boss and you said, boss, I want to quit, can you write me a document saying you fired me? I would say, no, go fuck yourself. I understand why the boss would do that for you.
Yeah, why did they help you out?
Just be a Chad Preet from Austria. If they're, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying. Why would the boss?
It's probably to help me out. The thing is, like, because
unless they're so desperate to have kindergarten teachers, they hoped he'd come back someday.
Did they believe your story? They believed you wanted to quit and come back? Because wouldn't another question be, if you're with the government or the school, well, how are you going to afford higher education if you're on neat bucks? Yeah, so I'm not attacking you. I'm just really confused how this process works. It makes no sense. To me, as an American, I would say, hey, boss, I want to quit, but can you say I was fired so I can get unemployment? I'd say, go fuck yourself. You're going to quit. Leave me stranded. I'm not going to help you get free money. Go fuck yourself. If I were the boss, I would say, fuck you. There's the door.
Well,
Yeah.
why did the school help you out?
Yeah.
They didn't know that I go this neat box route.
No,
Okay.
even so, why would they say they terminated you? Even if you didn't know, even if they didn't know that, if you said, hi, I want to quit. Okay, you quit. Oh, can you write me a note saying you fired me? Why? I mean, even if you didn't tell them about the neat bucks, why would they write you a note saying they fired you? That's what I don't understand.
Okay, now I think it's probably because I told you people like me there.
No, I understand that, but still, even if they really like you, wouldn't they raise an eyebrow and say, well, listen, you're quitting. I like you, Chad Preet, but why should I write you a note? That would be my first question. Even if I liked you, I'd say, well, why do I have to write you a note? I mean, you're choosing to quit.
I guess because they liked him so much.
I would raise an eyebrow and say, well, why do you need a note? You're quitting. What do you need a note for saying I fired you? I would still be like, what? Even if I liked you, I'd still say, what?
I have a question. Was your boss a woman?
Good
I
question.
worked in an environment with only
What-
women.
At school, it's all-
is your boss was a woman.
Well, we would call an administrator. The school
Yes.
administrator, the head person in the school was a woman.
Yeah,
Who wrote you the note?
a woman. Yeah.
Okay,
A woman,
that's
but not just a woman. Was it the administrator woman or like a lower woman? What woman wrote this note for you?
The boss, the like
The boss lady. Okay, boss lady.
Boss lady.
Okay, so we're seeing the black pill
Yeah,
played out
yes,
for
yes,
us.
we
You're
are.
lucky. Hey, like I said to Run and Gun and what's his name, Off Grid Live. I'm not knocking you for having an arranged marriage. I'm not knocking you for having daddy's company. I'm not knocking you for being a Chad Preet who can get women to do their bidding. I'm not knocking that, but understand we don't all have these privileges in life.
Recognize it.
Yeah, recognize
Recognize it,
cognitive
yeah.
empathy. We don't all have these privileges in
Yeah.
life. I couldn't imagine saying to a woman boss, hey boss, I want to quit so I can collect meat bucks. Do me a
Yeah.
favor, write me a letter saying, that you fired me. She would say, go fuck yourself. She probably want to fire me anyway for real, but she just sort of winked your eye and she got wet and wrote you this. I'm still amazed. It's wow. Okay. Lucky you.
I'm not angry at you guys because I know that you guys like really trying to. I know the reasons why the like 50,000 questions coming from your side because you guys can't recognize not fatigue like this.
We're not
this-
Chads,
this-
man. We don't know what
No.
it's like to live a Chad life. It's really amazing. You live on a different planet than we do. Wow. I'm trying to use cognitive empathy. This is because even if a woman really liked me, even if a girl really liked me, and she wrote me a love letter saying we fired him, there's still unemployment office is going to question it. So there's still like a whole
Yes,
line of
yeah.
command. So even if you get lucky with one woman, I still understand how Austria is so lax that they didn't question this. It's just very strange. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm not here to brag. I'm just
Brad,
trying
go
to be
ahead, man.
honest.
We love hearing it. It's displaying the black pill, on display even more. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm just trying to be honest as possible. I know
No,
there's a
please,
language
we
barrier
want
also
to
on my side,
Appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
admire
and I
Don't
know
feel
that.
bad. Don't feel ashamed. To just tell us the truth.
No, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad, but I noticed that I needed to repeat like 5 times
Well, part of
because
it,
like
you contradict yourself. I know English isn't your first language.
yeah, I know, but because you asked me like multiple times that so regarding this like
Not really. We get different answers every time we ask.
Yeah.
how did this happen that from the government side that they didn't question me regarding why I quit.
They took your letter at face value. Probably another woman who you winked at.
Yeah.
You got your the boss lady to agree to say she fired you, even though you were quitting.
So you had paperwork from your employment saying yes, he worked here, he was fired. So then when you take that to the government, they have documentation that you were fired.
Yeah,
That's good enough for them. That's all they needed. So they didn't really do an in-depth check, and then you got all your stuff. All right. Okay.
And the way you got the company to agree to say you were fired, even though you were quitting, and write you a letter is because you winked your eye at the boss lady. Okay. None of us might. So another guy in your shoes who looks like me might not have that option. I might say, "Hey, lady, I don't like this. I want to quit for higher education. Write me a note." And she might say, "Fuck you." Whereas with you, she might say, "No problem, chat." In other words, what I'm saying is, I'm not angry or jealous, like Rongo was saying. I'm saying you have to realize what that Jekyll and Hyde. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, the lady acted towards you. She might not do that for everybody. Just because she wrote you a love letter saying, I fired him, she might not do that for me. So you're able to do things that I might not be able to. So there might be another guy in your shoes who hates his job, wants to quit, and the same exact woman says, no, I'm not writing you a love letter like I did for Xenesis. You have to understand that. You know what I mean?
I get it. I mean, on the last stream, I told you that my best friend is a sub 5. When I'm out with him, I see it, everything, like
So
the way
if your friend worked with you this kindergarten, he said, Xenesis, I want to quit too and get neat bucks. I'll do what you did. There's a good, strong chance the same exact woman who wrote you that nice note might not do it for him. So you know what I'm saying? Like so a lot of people online, like Run and Gun, and even what's his name, Off Grid Live, will say things like, well, "Just do what I did." At least you have enough wherewithal to say we don't have the same privileges in life. That's what I talk about. This is a good example of cognitive empathy. So I thank you for that. Definitely.
Yeah, those things which you just said earlier, like I mentioned with my sub 5 best friend,
right?
I see it IRL, the halo effect versus phalo effect.
Mm-hmm.
I see it, like the way when I'm out with him, that my friend's getting like treated as like shit, or he's mostly invisible, versus me when I'm like going out by myself. I get, yeah. The thing is, also notice when I go out by myself, I get treated way more better than when I go out with him. This is also the black pill, because people associate, like they look at you when you go out with multiple kind of people. They check out your whole group, like the dynamic, like how does this group looks and stuff like this. They want to see, like, okay, what kind of people belong to this group, and what does this particular guy hang out with other guys, like,
right. So your ugly friends bring your value down.
Yeah, he's bringing my value down, but I don't care.
It probably brings their value down, actually, because they look even uglier standing next to you. It reminds them how the difference. So it's probably bad all around for everybody, I'd imagine.
I bring his value up because
I'm not so sure. It might be like, they say if you're ugly, stand next to an uglier person so you look a little better. If someone is ugly and they're standing next to you and you're better looking than them, it's a reminder of how ugly they are. I don't think, maybe it helps that he's hanging out with a Chad or Chad Preet, but I don't know. It might not work. I don't know. I've never had a Chad Preet or Chad Light friend, so I can't tell you this.
I bring his value up in the sense of, okay, hey, this guy looks like he has a.
And what you said with the value with men, women, with both, is it more so with the women, or do men care as much?
It's more like it's both. It's more in the term of social networking department.
If you guys go to a restaurant and a waiter comes up, does he treat you differently, or better or worse, or is a waiter? I'm trying to think, like, who would care more, who would care less. I'm not talking about a job interview. Like, even waiters, male waiters, are like taken aback, or what?
Sorry, can you repeat?
You have homework. What's it called? What's the word for homework again? House of Goblin. House of Goblin. Next time you go with your buddy to a restaurant, see how get a waiter, not a waitress. Get a waiter, a male server, a waiter, and see how if he treats you differently. Yeah.
Think about it.
Right.
I've noted for myself, the most hate I get personally are not from girls; they're mostly from guys.
When you're hanging out with your ugly friend, is what you're saying?
Generally, even if I'm walking.
Well, that doesn't count, because you just said your life got better and people treat you nicer when you're by yourself. I'm talking about when you and your buddy are hanging out. You said you get, when you're hanging out with your buddy. Here's why I repeat myself, because I'm hearing contradictions. When you and your buddy are hanging out, you say you get treated worse. You get treated worse, correct? When you're with him. When people see you with your buddy, they treat you worse. Men, women, what kind of people? What are we talking about here?
I don't think I contradicted myself. What I meant is, on average, I get treated worse by males than females. When I go out with my friend, I notice that I get treated not way worse, but more worse than when I go out alone. By both genders.
by both genders. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, how do women treat you with your friend?
They tend to view me as more. There is like, all right. They tend to view me more as, okay, there something weird is going on. Like, why is this guy hanging out with this guy?
Why is this Chad Preet or Chad Light hanging out with this
Because
ugly fuck? Yeah.
Because there is like really this extreme opposites. You don't see it in IRL. How often do you see like two extreme opposites like doing stuff together?
That's a good point.
And what about your buddy? Has he ever commented, people treat me better when with you, or people are even more hostile because they don't like the ugly fuck hanging out with the Chad Preet? What has your buddy said about this? Your friend, your ugly friend, your sub 5, what has he said about how he's treated by men and women alone, how he's treated by men and women with you? What have you observed when you're with him? It's a long question. I know English isn't your first language. How does he treated by men alone, women alone, men with you, women with you, and what have you observed? You're not there when he's by himself, but what have you observed? So those are the 5 questions. 4 you should ask him, 1 you can answer.
Yeah, I will try to answer all of them. Yeah. What I gathered from my observations, he also told me that he gets treated way more welcoming. He gets like this welcoming treatment more when he's all around.
So wait, so your value goes down because why are you
Michael's
his goes up. So he's getting some of that. He's getting some of your halo. You're getting some of his phalo, is what you're saying.
Yes, this is what I meant earlier. That his value actually rises up and mine goes down, but I don't care about it. Because I don't define my friendship by those kind of stuff. I don't follow those kind of rules. I don't care about them.
Right, but you've noticed he's getting treated better with you. You're getting treated worse being with him. Okay. Well, how is he treated alone? Is that both with men and women, or he gets treated better with women? I'm trying to think, is like, who's more disgusted seeing you two together, women or men?
Women are definitely more.
As a man, I wouldn't care if I saw you sitting next to Dragon Lord. You don't know who he's Dragon Lord Frodo. I would say, okay, it looks a little mismatched. But who gives a shit? What do you guys want to order? I wouldn't care personally. I would assume women are more bothered. Why is this good-looking dude hanging with the? Because women are more, biologically. As a man, I wouldn't really care if I saw you and Dragon Lord Frodo. At the end of the day, you're just 2 dudes. But you're saying even men treat him better and you worse when you're together.
What I noticed with men is usually that that guys usually give you like on your appearances or at when you're like when you're either of 2 extremes. Either you're good looking, you get comments from guys, subtle comments, or really ugly. When you're in between, people, they might comment you on your beard or something like this, but they're not that common. And the threshold for like there's a term called the ick. Probably not heard of it. That
can you type it real quick? It's a German term. Ick.
Ick is an English word. There is like
ick, I-C-K, ick, icky, ick.
Yeah, ick, yeah, and it's the disgusting sensitivity.
You're trying to say icky, ew. It's ick.
Yeah, and
okay,
and the disgusting sensitivity. Like females get way more easily disgusted by superficial stuff like looks and stuff like this than an average guy.
No, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? You're saying women get disgusted more than the average guy, is what you're saying.
Yeah, more easily.
Right. I would agree. I want to save those German words. I'm saving those German words. I can't pronounce them all. Leonard Wonen, Mindish. I'm going to forget those. So I'm going to save those German words. I'm going to look them up later. When we get off, I'm going to look those up because I'm intrigued by them. But anyway, you're saying I would imagine women would be more turned off. As a man, I might say, wow, you look like you could be like in a movie, and that dude, Dragon Lord Frodo, looks like he's retarded. But hey, who knows? You guys, I don't give a shit. I would imagine women would be more like taken aback, like, what are you two doing hanging out? I would imagine, but I don't know. I'm not sure how you're treated. He doesn't know who Dragon Lord Frodo is, but I'm trying to think of a good example. Yeah.
elephant.
I'm just trying to think of the questions you asked me earlier because I didn't answer all of them.
I guess it's been over half an hour. I don't ban people. I time this asshole out because we were bringing up some good points about run and gun is a good example. Unlike, see, to your credit, Zenesis, you understand you're being treated better because of something you have. In your case, your looks. He is oblivious to the fact that he's spoiled because his daddy got him a job and a wife. So he's lecturing me. Anyone can do it. You just got to put your mind to it, bro. He's not. He's too arrogant and too ignorant to recognize the privileges he has. At least you acknowledge your privileges. You right there, buddy?
Okay.
We have to get off soon. My buddy's falling asleep. My brother, he's falling asleep here. But okay, grab one more beer and we'll call it. All right. So continue. So all right.
Please take care of your health. Don't.
Yeah, remember he worked all week. He's off tomorrow. He can sleep in, but he worked all week. So this is burning. Yeah.
I mean, those stuff you like said. I mean, I said it on my second stream, like when I made the statement that I don't neglect that some people have an easier life,
right?
But everyone has problems.
Well, you should explain that. You should. A lot of these people don't even pay attention. That's part of the problem. The people who are hypocrites or arrogant about their ignorance, they don't pay a lot of attention. Run and gun, you ask him a bunch of questions, he never pays attention. You should address that to him and address that to Off Grid Live. Those are the guys who think I'm privileged, I'm lucky, but if I can do it, anybody can. Like they'll give you lectures when they themselves are oblivious to their own privilege. At least you acknowledge your privilege. That I admire.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, those are NPCs.
You're right. They're NPCs, and I try to welcome everybody. But at some point, I get frustrated with same bullshit over and over. You're right there. Okay, yeah. We're calling it soon. We'll go another 10, 15 minutes. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Personally, I ignored it. I don't know how you like. I don't get emotionally invested. I mean, like you have on every kind of topic or stuff like this, you have always those kind of people. They're all everywhere.
Yeah. So. And what do they get out of being here? I scratch. Okay, I don't understand why they're here. But hey.
Yeah. For me personally, I like his streams. I like the honesty. I like the.
Not you, because you've been very honest. Not you. I'm talking.
I know it doesn't apply to me. I just wanted to say it because, I just wanted to, because I like those streams, like those kinds of streams where you can completely be honest, or more unfiltered than average. I mean, like streams like Thomas White, Western Decline, Collective Dismo, Destroyed by Freud stream is like it's all.
It's okay. His stream is ego boost. Pat my head and tell me how great I am, man. I'll be my best friend.
It's good.
Anyone who questions him is, I'm gonna ban him now. No, we can. Look,
I don't hate him.
Let me explain. I don't hate DBF. I just think there's a childishness with him. Yeah, we can be honest. If you suck his dick proverbially or literally, you get to be a mod. If you ask a simple question, is it like he bans you? So yeah, I have my criticisms of him. We're not enemies, but I have my criticisms. It's a shame we couldn't have been bigger friends. But let's not go on about Destroyed by Foids.
I just wanted to say, I don't hate him, but I never chatted in his streams or stuff like that. I just sometimes lurked. But what I noticed is there's a pattern of always focusing on why I can't get the girlfriend, and it's a thing like with the most of the Black community spaces. It's always the same thing. Like it's over if I don't have a girlfriend. It's over if I don't have sex. And I don't neglect that this part isn't that it's like okay, people will say, oh, you're good looking, so of course you're gonna say this shit. But I mean, like when I first joined the stream, like with the face reveal, Death Bike's reaction, I'm used to this kind of stuff. I'm so used to it, especially in those communities. Like, why, like you don't know our struggles because you don't look like this. But it's a typical ad hominem argument, so I don't take this seriously. With the Destroyed by Foids is like the main concern with what it's like. It's like this obsession with not getting any girls and not able to they're like stuck in this hole. Like they can't look forward.
Right.
Like,
Like I said with me, and people even made fun of me. Oh, you can't get laid. Well, that's not even my main concern. That's not even what this channel is about.
yes,
I want you to hear me
yeah.
doing streams about I don't have a my shrink. I'm glad actually it comes full circle. My shrink says you asked about other clients. I'm glad you brought this up. You shook a memory. Remember, my shrink asked me once. He said, "You know, I've never heard you complain about not having a girlfriend. A lot of my clients." Even ones older than you have said, "Man, I wish I could get married. I wish I had a girl who liked me." And he's like, "I'm surprised you never gone about not having a girlfriend." And I said, "Based upon the problems I've had in life, not having a girlfriend is like minimum. And I've had bigger problems." So I guess my shrink, my therapist, has a lot of clients who are losers, but they say, "Man, if only I had a girlfriend, my life would be great." They're still at that phase, and he's surprised. He sees I'm a loser, but I'm not bitching about a woman every stream. I'm like, I got bigger problems in that in life, man. I got people trying to kill me. How do I fucking support myself? I want neat bucks. A girlfriend is like a luxury item I don't give a fuck about. It's like if your biggest problem in life is I can't get a girlfriend, you have it pretty well otherwise. Failed normies, I call them. But yeah. So
yeah, I completely agree. Sadly, in those kind of communities, the Black Phillies, they mostly attract those kind of people. And on the intellectual terms, it doesn't go
right.
further.
All they want to do is talk about women, and I can't get a girlfriend. Woe is me. Everything else is fine. Yeah, I agree.
This is also why I like Thomas White's streams or Western Decline, because they go way beyond that, and they tackle different topics. And I know the person on one man once mentioned like, okay, yeah, that he doesn't like those kind of streams because it's mostly about women and stuff like this. Yeah, I mean, like there is a big part of it, but it goes way beyond that. It goes
right.
more
It's way beyond. And you're a Chad Preet. You could probably get a girlfriend if you want. Like Guillermo is saying, you should get what we call a sugar mama in English. A sugar mama, get a rich woman to pay for your bills. But the point is, this goes beyond just a woman. If that's your main concern, if your only problem in life is you can't get a girlfriend, I understand it's frustrating, but your life could be much, much worse. And you seem to realize that you have privileges based upon your looks. And you remember when you were younger, you weren't as good looking how people treated you. You see how people treat your friend. It goes beyond just, I can't get a girlfriend. It's like ability to function in life. So, yeah, I do appreciate your honesty. So, yeah.
But also,
people said, why'd you let this Chad Preet on? I said, well, I do admire, he seems at least cognitive empathy. He knows he has privileges we don't, whereas guys like Run and Gun and Off-Grid Live seem oblivious. But yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to say also that I know this is a biological urge to reproduce, have sex and stuff like this. And most of these guys in the spaces, they're virgins. They never had. So I because I know I had experiences. So for me to say like, yeah, it's nothing special to those people who never had
right,
something.
Still virgins I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same as a rich man telling a poor man that money isn't important. And I acknowledge the struggle on those spaces. Yeah, I don't want to gaslight people, but I would also try to go the pragmatic route and tell them, okay, if you can get sex, if it's only about sex, go to a prostitute. I know it's illegal here in America, but there are ways to to find a way around it. But also I'm aware that most people, they want a genuine relationship, long-term relationship.
Right. And we've talked about in our case, I don't know about you, it's not just sex. Missing out on teen love.
Yeah.
Being valued, being
right. That's part of it.
Yeah.
But at this point in life, I'd be happy to be a failed normie. If my only problem in life was I can't get a girlfriend, oh well, life goes on. I'm in my 40s. I don't give a shit. I got bigger fish to fry at this point. I envy guys like DBF, who his only everything is great in life. He has money. His only problem is he's got friends.
He's traveled the world.
Right. His only problem is, I can't get a girlfriend. Donda said she'd be my girlfriend next. It's like you're a fucking child in my mind. If that's your biggest fucking problem. But yeah, so you seem to realize there are bigger things out there beyond just a girlfriend. But yeah. The black pill isn't just about sex or relationships. It's like everything. It's the unbridled, unabridged truth, which affects multiple areas of life. And I think people only pay attention to most people only pay attention to the part of the black pill that affects them. They don't branch out. And yeah, so DBF might acknowledge the black pill with women, but he doesn't acknowledge it in the greater sense because he doesn't recognize his privileges. He doesn't check his privileges. Like Run and Gun and Off Grid Live. Yeah.
There's a
check your privilege.
Yes.
Good.
there's a term called in psychology. There is do you guys ever heard of this term called there's Maslow hierarchy needs of the pyramid. Let me just type it out. Sorry, Maslow.
Good. I am in a war zone, man. Strangled, almost run over. No one gives a shit. I am in a war zone in suburbia. Absolutely. You don't watch my shit. Don't even comment. Go back, watch my shit, then you can comment, asshole. You're getting banned again or timed out again. Fuck this. What's this guy's problem? I don't usually do that. If occupational click is timing you out, you're a problem. I like people speaking their minds. I very, very rarely do that. If I'm timing you out twice in the same stream, either I'm being silly like I was with Meatbanks, or you've really pissed me off. I'm not being silly with you. It's like really Run and Gun. Maybe it's a troll, but really. And I can usually tolerate trolls. Like, I don't care about Penny Pounder, but you're really like, I don't know what your problem is. It's like, it's not that, oh, he's pushing my buttons. I don't like what he said. It's, you're not even paying attention. Pay attention. You want to criticize me, criticize, but at least pay attention. Listen to what I have to say, and then offer your objection. If you can't do that, if you're going to say redundant shit, like, as someone who's clearly not paying attention, then fuck off. That pisses me off. Pay attention. You can't pay attention, go away. Because if you can't pay attention, why are you here? At least these other people pay attention. Even Penny Pounder pays attention. What is this guy's running? Christ. Yeah, I like people. You can disagree with me. You can call me an asshole. Make fun of me. I don't care. But pay attention. When you're saying shit that I've addressed multiple times, why are you here? Christ.
So this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Did you guys ever heard of it?
Right, yeah, we've all heard of that. Yes, in fact, yes. What's his name? Guillermo brought that. Yeah, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
Yeah. And there are like 5 different parts in this pyramid, and DBF has like 4 out of 5 parts fulfilled.
Right.
And the last part is this love part, and this is like and so I get why he's obsessed with this kind of thing, because this is his own problem.
I get it too. I get it. But when I talk about cognitive empathy, realize, okay, I've got my one missing need, which sucks. But I realize that others have other missing needs. Okay, let me back off. He can't think beyond himself. A lot of people can't think beyond themselves. That's the problem. So I commend you. Hats off for thinking beyond yourself. A lot of people think about their own problems, never stop and think, wow, I got one missing need. What if I had 3 missing needs? Yeah. And that's my criticism of people like Destroyed by Foids.
Emotional intelligence is this, and this is a genetic kind of thing. So this is also black pill, because you either have it or you don't.
I get, yeah, maybe.
And so I'm also a guy who I don't debate IRL or ever. I hate debating, because debating, in my view, in my opinion, is pointless. I can't. It's like, I don't know. I view it as, okay, imagine Einstein trying to explain his theory to an average guy.
Right.
Like you guys. I view this that you either have it or not. So, I mean, I also noticed this, like, when I worked in the kindergarten. For my first-hand experience, like, I saw it, like, firsthand. Okay, there are kids who are way off, cognitive-wise. And the children there were cognitive ahead, just because of genes and environment, like
right. You see it even at that age. Some advantages, others don't, and how they're, yes, you can witness it.
Yeah, you see it, like,
right
from the beginning. I'm not mad at those people. Just like, I mean, like, I'm thankful for DBF that he does this stuff, because he helps other people a lot by his streams.
for me personally, if I were a person who was also stuck in this hole of okay, this is my only problem, I would appreciate the streams a lot. But this is not my cup of tea, and I like your streams a lot because you're the same as me, kind of, because you look way past this kind of thing. This is not the problem. I mean, like we both had different problems, but on this topic, like, especially in this Blackpool community space, it's rare to find like someone who goes beyond that, and it's also trying to like, connect on a face-to-face basis.
Right. And I want to address what Guillermo is saying. Guillermo said that hierarchy is, about vertical and horizontal. But I've said this before. It's easy. Like with my sister. I was talking about my sister earlier. It's my sister goes on about men in general. The men are more privileged than the women. She's talking about the men who are above her, the corporate men who are the boss's son. She never stops and looks down and realizes there's a level below her. So yes, it's vertical, but the problem a lot of people have, and I don't think you have this problem. This is why I do like talking to you. You realize your level, understand there are levels above you. We all do, but don't forget the levels below you. A lot of people struggle realizing that as bad, whatever level they're stuck on, there are levels below them. I think a lot of people struggle looking down. They can look up and say, I want to be on that level, but they never stop and look down and say, holy shit, I'm glad I'm here and not down there. A lot of people struggle with looking down at lower levels, the whole vertical thing.
This thing which you mentioned earlier, that women tend to only categorize the top man. There's a fallacy called apex fallacy. This is what you're describing. I wrote it out.
Tell us what that is, and we'll probably have to end it because I can tell Brother Click's getting tired. So we're going to end it now. It's been a good stream. We'll talk again. What's a good time to stream for Eurocells? When are most Eurocells active?
I mean, like today was a good time because you streamed at 2 a.m. Usually you stream at 5 a.m. my time or 4 a.m. and this is already I'm way past that. Sleep-wise, like I'm in bed already by then, so I don't know if it's streamed like on.
I'm sorry. What time is it right now in Austria? Because it's about 11 o'clock p.m. here. What time is it in Austria?
4:54 a.m.
Okay.
Almost 5 a.m.
So you're 6 hours ahead. Okay. We'll do this again. Don't be a stranger. You can tell my brother Cliff's going to have it. But real quick, what is the apex fallacy? Tell us that and we'll call it a night because it's been about 3 hours. I think you're getting out of it, buddy. You worked all week. We might do this again tomorrow at the same time because he'll be off tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow.
But he's exhausted after working the past 6 days. So
you're unemployed and on UBI, so you have time.
I got to go back to work. So if I were this dude, I would stay up for 5 hours, 7 hours streaming. Yeah, but okay. But what is the apex fallacy? Because I was talking about people look up, but they can't look down. Yeah,
basically, apex fallacy is like when a group of people only focuses on a specific group of people which are on the top.
Yes.
And they neglect like the whole like 99% of the other people who are like in this group.
Right.
It's like it's a really black or white kind of thinking. I mean, like everybody suffers kind of apex fallacy. I mean, it's the same with. It's not only women. There are a lot of people who.
I agree. We're all guilty to an extent, but some are more guilty than others. I'm probably guilty of it too. But people like my sister, Destroyed by Voids, Run and Gun, or now FTP calls himself, FTH calls himself. These people are even more guilty of this apex fallacy than others. So I appreciate you being a little less guilty of the apex fallacy. FTH, that's Run and Gun again, playing this game. But yeah, so yes, some people are more susceptible to the apex fallacy than others.
Yes, that's basically it. Yeah.
Yep. All right. I like talking to you, but I can tell Brother Click's got to say goodnight.
Yeah, I'm kind of out of it. But
so maybe we'll do this again tomorrow.
Yes.
No promises. We might do it again tomorrow. Who's Run and Gun? You know damn well who he is. All right. Good to talk to you. I've enjoyed this. Let's talk more in the future. And if you want in the comments, I say those German terms, but if you want to put in the comments so we know those, Midisten Kommen and Vlen Vonnen. I'm probably mispronouncing them. I'm going to look these things up and see what Austrian meat bucks are like. It sounds interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of things I want to say before.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. So we can wind it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Winding down. Good.
Yes.
Winding down. Please take care of your health. If you don't feel like streaming,
Well, listen, I'll repeat myself. I went to the ER room late February. Doctor said it looks like a hernia. I talked to a surgeon. Surgeon said, I'm a surgeon. I put that video up. That surgeon lady, I love doing surgery, but you have a hiatal hernia, which is minor, very common. You don't have an abdominal hernia. I'd love to do surgery on you. This isn't surgery worthy. Then I got the gallbladder ultrasound, went to a gastroenterologist. Everything's fine. Went to got a CAT scan for my kidneys. Urologist said, your kidneys look great. Your liver looks great. Your bladder looks great. I'm actually on paper in very good health. So thank you. I want to say, despite all the drinking, and I'm probably overweight, I probably just pulled a muscle, but but thank you. I just wanted to share with everybody who didn't hear that earlier. The doctor says you look fine. Everything looks fine on paper. You're ready to go back to work now, but that's okay. But yes, take care of your health too, Zen. It's absolutely.
You mentioned it. It's that in your earlier streams. I can remember that.
Right. I gotta repeat myself 1,000 times. The starlings, most starlings don't pay attention, so I repeat myself 1,000 times. Yeah.
What I want also to say is take care of your health. And if you don't feel like stream, I mean, you still notice that you have your really values. You really stick to your values in the sense of if I don't want to do anything, I won't do it. That's good.
That might be a Spurg thing. We were very into our values.
Yeah, but no, that's a good thing. Because I'm the same kind of. Because if I don't feel like it, I don't do it. I don't follow the rules of other people. I just do my own stuff. And I wanted to say something about Dev Pike because I can remember he had a lot of questions.
Well, I'm sure he'll be on again. I'm not giving up streaming. I took a streaming break, but I'll stream again. Yeah. So next time he comes on, we can bring the both of you on. You can ask him. But think of the question.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to answer his questions because he seemed he had a lot of questions.
Okay.
And I tried to answer all of those, from every person who has any questions.
Well, tell it. If I stream tomorrow, think about the questions. The next time I stream, you can address the questions. Think about what he asked you, and we can address them.
It depends if he's on. I mean,
Well, if not, if you want to say, "Oh, I realized he asked me this. Here's my answer," you can always, even if he's not here, you can answer the questions.
But most of the questions, I think, I answered it via these streams because they were really similar. Because he asked me mostly how I worked. No, one question was how was I treated as a sub 5 in comparison to a normie wise, and now comparison to a better looking person. This was the main questions.
And what's the answer?
What's the answer?
You put the question out there. What's the answer to this question?
I can answer this on the next one because I don't want to go into detail. It's gonna take longer. So
okay. All right, we're gonna call it now. It's about 3 hours. Yes. He's too adamant now. We'll do this again. Don't be a stranger, as we say in English. You're more than welcome to come. Don't be a stranger. Next time you can answer some questions, or if you think of anything you want to ask us. Sounds good.
All right.
Have a good night.
Auf Wiedersehen. Bis später.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Yes.
Some German for you. All right. Yes. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Grotesque Subhuman, Todd Thundercock, for the comments. I addressed them earlier. Thank you. At least one person got something. Well, 3 people at least.
Yes.
Todd, that guy Zenesis, and maybe even Dev Pike got something on my videos, and that makes it all worth it.
Yes.
For now, we're going to say Occupational Click and Brother, whatever he calls himself.
Buddy.
Buddy.
Yes.
Occupational Click and Buddy.
Bye.
Out.
Out.